This is Villanova Stadium on the campus of Villanova University on a gorgeous afternoon for college football. Today, it's the Fordham Rams against the Villanova Wildcats. Hello again, everyone. Scott Graham on hand today for college football, and Villanova comes in riding a high. They're 2-1, they're nationally ranked, and they're coming off an upset victory seen here last week on Comcast over the then number 4 ranked Fighting Blue Hens of the University of Delaware. Joining me as he did last week is Brian Baldinger, and last weekend we got an opportunity to see a nearly perfect game for the Wildcats.
Last week's win against last year's Yankee Conference champion, the Delaware Blue Hens, has catapulted Villanova into the 18th ranking in the national polls in 1AA. And that is the first time that they've made the poll since 1993. This team feels very good about themselves, Scott. In fact, they think they can run the tables the rest of the way.
Meantime, the Fordham Rams, a team that just 2 years ago was 0-11, bounced back last year. This year they've struggled at 0-2, largely due to the fact that the offense has struggled and they've lost their starting quarterback for a stretch.
Kevin Sosick is a starting quarterback. He got hurt in the first week's game against Maine. But this is a passing team. They need his leadership in there today. They have distributed the ball to 11 different receivers thus far already this season.
The third member of our broadcast team, Ken Henderson, got an opportunity a little while ago to talk with Villanova head coach Andy Talley about how the Wildcats are planning to deal with that Fordham passing attack.
Villanova head coach Andy Talley going for his 99th career win today, Coach. And on paper, this looks like you guys are much more talented and deeper, but they don't play them on paper.
No, they don't, and I kept reminding our players that Fordham has always given us a hard time. In 1992, we barely won the game on the last play of the game, so last year they tied Richmond 3-3, so we're ready for a big game. This is an important game.
What are your major concerns today?
Well, the biggest concern, obviously, is, we were very high for the Delaware game last week, and we need to really make sure that we don't go way down this week. We want to try and keep an even keel and just play a good, solid game, limit our turnovers, and just hope we can play a complete game again.
All right, Coach, good luck today. The Wildcats go for 3 in a row.
Thank you.
That they do, going for 3 in a row today here at Villanova, and doing so to lead them is going to be their quarterback Clint Park, who has been terrific, had once again a very efficient game last week. In fact, walked away with an honor roll from the Yankee Conference.
The junior out of Tallahassee, Florida, Scott, is the leader of this team. Very heady, very poised player. They have opened the game the last 3 weeks with a touchdown march. So this is the guy that the team takes their cue from, and he's already thrown for almost 700 yards this year, Scott.
He's also distributing the ball around well in this West Coast style of Villanova offense, something that concerns Fordham head coach Nick Quartaro.
Fordham head coach Nick Quartaro tries to slow down the Villanova Wildcats today, and coach has to start on their offensive side of the ball with their quarterback Clint Park.
I think they've got outstanding talent, certainly, and Park is playing awfully well. We know the system a little bit that they run because of the Lehigh background that Dave Clausen brought to them as offensive coordinator, and that doesn't make it any easier. I think the talent level is certainly outstanding, and I think it's rated probably the tops in the Yankee Conference.
Concerned a little bit about your cornerbacks, a little inexperienced, and their size is definitely a question.
Yeah, they've got good-sized receivers, obviously, and the Wildcats are spreading the ball around to different people. We knew going into the season that the secondary, due to inexperience, would have to grow as the season goes on, and obviously going into Game 3, we still have growing to go.
All right, Coach, good luck. Back upstairs.
Well, the Villanova Wildcats looking to cement in their ranking. The Fordham Rams looking for win number 1 on the season. Brian Baldinger and I will be back with the starting lineups, the opening kickoff, and all the play-by-play of Villanova against Fordham coming up next right here on the Comcast Network. Back at Villanova Stadium here in Villanova, Pennsylvania, Scott Graham and Brian Baldinger set to bring you Villanova versus Fordham today in Division I AA. The Wildcats, of course, as we told you, riding that high of the shutout victory over Delaware last week. Fordham, on the other hand, coming in with losses to both Maine and Lehigh into today's action. Now, there has already been the coin toss, and it was won by Fordham. Fordham, as you can see in Villanova, pretty much the same as far as enrollment is concerned and pretty much the same as far as age is concerned. Of course, Villanova has reached much more in the way of athletic prosperity over the course of the last several decades. As we told you, Fordham won the toss, elected to defer, so Villanova will be taking the ball. They lead the all-time series 16-8-2 in the Wildcats' favor. As you can see, Villanova last winning in 94. Last Fordham's win, 1920. Back deep to take this kick are Josh Dobin and Audible Turner. Kicking things off is Mark Ruoff for Fordham, wearing the traveling white, Villanova in the blue, and we're underway. That's Turner standing at his own 10, trying the middle. And with some twisting moves, he's going to get it out to the 26-yard line, which is where Villanova will start things off offensively. They have been terrific, scoring on their opening drive of the game in each of their first 3 games this year. Clint Park, of course, is the leader. He is the starting quarterback for this Villanova team. On the season, has thrown for 693 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Last week they get started, Scott, with a 74-yard march to start the game against Delaware. Very confident to open the game.
They also come out and are going to spread the ball around with a short passing game. Last week, lots of passing attempts, 33 of them in all for Clint Park. On 1st and 10, spot of the football just short of the 26-yard line. Park looking right all the way, and he is slammed down to the ground. I don't even think the defensive player, Carl Barbera, realized that he had the sack. He looked the other way, but Park went down, getting hit to the turf by Carl Barbera.
Carl is the preseason Patriot League Defensive Player of the Year, and he showed his prowess on that first play.
Villanova offense has tight end Joe Cavanaugh, the flanker Brian Finneran, the split end Josh Dolman, and the backfield consists of Curtis Sifford and Anthony Calcett. On the line, McCrimmon, Ocano, Weidel, McCarty, and McKnight. Second down now, 17 yards to go for Park. It's that little swing pass, and Sifford's going to try a right side. He gets knocked out of bounds, herded there by Tim Baumgartner. And Villanova's going to have a 3rd down and long, 3rd down and probably about 15 yards to go at the spot of the football. John Eberl is on the left end of the Fordham defensive line. Greg Fitzsimmons, Carl Barbera, and Mike Shelley. The linebackers there, Baumgartner, Piracini, and Ciarlanti. McAndrew, Glassford, Tierney, and Garcia making up the defensive backfield. So it will be 3rd down at 17 yards to go now for the Wildcats, stalling on a drive, their opening drive for the first time this year. And out of the shotgun, Park looking left, got a man. Finneran got hit on the play, and the official is going to wave it off, says no flag, good defense, he's saying, on the part of Gabe Garcia, who came over and broke it up.
Free safety on many nice plays there, Garcia on Finneran, and this is something that we didn't see at all last week, Scott. First of all, a 3rd and long situation. Good protection this time by Park, for Park, but I thought there was a certain interference on that play. As Park has all day to throw this ball. He seems to hang it a long time here in the air, giving Garcia a chance to come back. But I don't know how they can't call that interference. He's all over Finneran as the ball's in the air.
Mark Kiefer back to punt the football away, averaging 36.7 per kick. Back deep to take it, standing at his own 40-yard line for Fordham, is Larry Leith, a dangerous return man. Nice kick. And Leith is waving like mad for the fair catch. He puts it away just outside the 35-yard line. And so the Fordham Rams offense is going to have its first turn against this Villanova defense. And as we told you, there had been some question about who was going to start this game, but the late ad is the starting quarterback. Kevin Sosick does draw the start today.
And we watched Kevin warm up today, Scott, and he looks a little bit gimpy, but he's the senior. He's a little bit more adept at knowing the offense and knowing defense is a lot better. And they struggled a little bit with Dan Medine, who filled in for him, throwing 4 interceptions in a little over a game and a half.
Well, here comes the Fordham offense on 1st down and 10. Spotted the ball at the 36-yard line. That's the tight end in motion, John Nelson. And through the middle, Andre Robinson going to pick up a yard out to about the 37-yard line on the first Fordham offensive play.
And that was Chris McAvina on the tackle, Scott.
For the Rams, John Nelson, the Penn State transfer, is the tight end. Robinson, who just carried the ball at running back. Offerio, Leith, and Skoblik are the wide receivers. Across the line, they go Gray Shin, Bork, Bailey, Steffen, and Green. 2nd down and 9 situation now for the Rams. See the 2 receivers now coming to the near side of the field, bottom of the screen, and they'll send a man in motion. Sosick on the turn and the give. This is Robinson kicking it outside, and they turn it up nicely, stopping him for a gain of just about nothing. A couple of defensive players for Villanova in on that hit, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and long situation. McAvina was a guy who was very much involved. He, of course, is up there with Derek Forgione, George Freiberger, and Nate McIntyre to make up the front 4. The linebackers, Gattuso, Heckard, and Dunaway. And the defensive backfield, Helton, Riley, Jackson, and Turner.
Their defensive linemen will rotate according to strength of the offensive line. McIntyre plays the strong side, McAvina the weak side.
So on a 3rd down and 9 situation, an obvious passing down for the Rams. Sosik setting up the screen, and bam, down to the ground. Stephen Curry hit him, the freshman stepping up to drop Andre Robinson, forcing a loss of yardage and a Fordham punt.
As an offensive lineman on that play, on that type of screen, Scott, you've got to be able to find a guy who's one-on-one on the back. And that time, Stephen Curry, playing middle linebacker in there, sniffs out the play early and comes up and reads the play. The offensive lineman got to be able to pick him off as they release into the screen.
Punting the football is Barry Cantrell. Nice looking average of almost 48 yards per kick. Just barely gets it away, and it's a boomer. In fact, he to take it is Ron Withelder, and he's going to try to return it. Got a couple of blocks. And to the middle of the field, out to the 29-yard line, where Villanova will start things off offensively. So there's a timeout on the field, and we'll take a timeout as well just a few minutes in to Villanova against Fordham. No score here at Villanova Stadium. We'll be right back. And back to action here at Villanova. Wildcats with a first down and 10, the 29-yard line. It's going to be a pitch for Sifford coming near side. Good-looking blocking, and he's got room. Couple of men to beat, across the 50-yard line and down to the 44 of the Fordham Rams. Sifford coming in, doing some high stepping and getting a gain of 27 yards.
And they ran over the weak side there. Chris Acano at guard pulls on this play and leads Seaford around the corner. You'll see 63 in the bottom of your screen on a pulling, making a lead block on the linebacker right here. And Seaford, nice job in the open field. About 4.5 speed, Scott. This guy is really a burner and certainly the fastest running back they have on his team.
At 13 carries for 42 yards last week, 27 there on that touch. On first and 10, just inside the 45, that's Clint Park rolling, firing, and hitting. Down to about the 41-yard line, he had Brad Fitterin out there on the right side, making a gain of about 4 yards, setting up second down and 6 with the rolling pocket right.
And what we saw last week from Clint Park is he throws very accurately on the run. They like to move the pocket around. They don't like him just sitting back there on all pass plays. So you'll see that a lot today, him rolling out to his right or to his left and being able to just flood his zone, little pitch and catch out there to the big wide receivers.
A little bit different look this week. Last week, Delaware was blitzing on almost every play. Fordham so far is not. On 2nd and 7. Another long count for Clint Park. This is Sifford off the toss. Good clear out block on the right side and some room. Close to the marker before he's shoved out of bounds. It's going to be at about the 36-yard line, leaving him a yard short, but Matt McKnight cleared out the hole on the right side.
Yeah, Matt McKnight is the weak side offensive tackle. They'll switch sides according to strength on the offensive line as well. Mitch McCrimmon will be the strong side. Will be on the strong side left tackle, and then Matt McKnight will be on the weak side. That time, nice job of clearing out the way.
Nick Cartaro trying to bark out some instructions to the defense. Actually, they say he stepped out of bounds a little bit back further than I had thought. So it'll be third down now and almost a full 2 yards to go for the Villanova offense. Second drive of the game for the Wildcats were scoreless. Park with a 7-step drop. Dodges the rush, and Sifford gets hit. He never caught the football. The officials are waiting it incomplete. Tim Baumgartner was once again right there to meet Sifford as Curtis caught the football. As it turned out, he dropped it, and Villanova's going to be forced to punt the football away.
And that play was forced by the defensive end, Mike Shelley, going against Mitch McCrimmon, who had an outstanding game last week with pro potential. A little injury late in the game. He came out of that ball game, a problem with his back. But Mike Shelley, good pressure on Clint Park there to throw the ball a little bit early.
Once again, this is Kiefer kicking it away to Leaf, who's standing at his own 10-yard line. And, of course, the rule of thumb here is kicker tries to kick it out of bounds. Receiver does not receive the ball if it hits inside the 10. And a wobbler. Looks like it found a corner, and it did. We'll see where the official stops and marks. Just outside the 6-yard line. So Villanova buries Fordham back deep as the Rams offensive unit comes back onto the football field.
Scott, if I find myself saying Mike Shelley's name quite a bit there today, I'm a little biased. Went to the same high school as myself, and Massapequa, Long Island, got to give them a little bit of a plug today.
Why?
Just because it's the home of so many great and fascinating individuals in this country.
Like Brian Baldinger, for instance.
Well, the Baldinger family, certainly the Baldwin brothers and Jerry Seinfeld, I could go on and on.
Wow, you're just not really at the top of that list. Anyway, first down now, just outside the 6-yard line for the Fordham Rams. And obviously Sosik doesn't like what he sees. He's checking off at the line of scrimmage. And the audible now gets relayed throughout the wide receivers. On play action. And he's in trouble. He's knocked down. What are they going to call it? Is he just outside the goal line? He is. They're going to mark it just outside the goal line. A near safety as Villanova's defense converges on Kevin Sosik. Derek Forgione, you see there right in the middle of it.
and Chris McAvina coming from the outside was able to beat the left tackle Mark Grayson here and really put the pressure. They actually have the fullback staying in to block, but the pressure comes from the outside, and then Ford Jones steps up and is able to make the play. Looks like there's a safety from there.
They gave him a forward progress where he got hit just outside the goal line. So second down and 15. Fordham backed up as far back as you can be. This is Robinson just trying to get him a little bit of breathing room and maybe made his way out to the 1 yard line before he got stopped. Curtis Dunaway stepping up for the linebacker position to help with that hit.
On the carry for Fordham.
McAvina, only a sophomore, Scott, last year led the team with 13 sacks. He's a pass rushing specialist, plays the run very well too, but he is their best pass rusher, and he's coming from the blind side most of the time of quarterback Kevin Sosa.
There's Andy Talley hoping that his defense puts on a stand here. You'll love to make the other team punt from the back of the end zone. Third down, call it 15. Sosik ducks down. He's going to flip it out, and over the head of his intended receiver, Mike George, the backup tight end who he had coming open. But as Sosik was running along the back line of the end zone, it looked as though he might have thrown that ball a little quickly.
Yeah, this matchup today, Fordham is a passing team, and Villanova showed last week that they're a very good pass rushing team. So Sosik is going to be under pressure today. How he handles the pressure will determine, I think, the success of what Fordham's able to do offensively.
We told you that Barry Cantrell was a good punter. He's going to have to show off all of his wares here and get rid of it quickly. Ron Withelder standing in Fordham territory with an opportunity for a big return and some great field position. And he does get the kick away. Not a bad one under those circumstances. Withelder fields 46. Good line there. Great block. 30 inside the 25. Oh, he can go. All he needs is a little help to get in. And he's brought down by the punter just inside the 2 yard line. Barry Cantrell makes the saving tackle, but the Villanova Wildcats are in business inside the Fordham 2.
And it was number 34 of Villanova, Eddie Diaz, that threw a crushing block at about the 35-yard line, Scott. We talk about Cantrell, second in the nation right now in punting, and not all punters, are able to punt at deep out of their end zone. But you'll see, just at the bottom of the screen there, Ed Diaz throws a crushing block, which frees up Withelder here for a nice return.
And Kevin Pertura with a missed arm tackle right there. That allows Withelder to get it down. Only a great play by Cantrell, the punter, prevented the touchdown. Now Nova knocking at the door. Here they come, looking for it, and they got it. End zone touchdown for Todd Galemi. The Villanova Wildcats use the punt return and field position to give themselves an early 6-0 lead.
They were able to make turnovers, and they were able to capitalize when they did get the ball back. And after a big punt return right there, they were able to capitalize and score right away. Very efficient.
Well, just outside the 2 yard line, when you set up there first down and 10 yards to go, it's not often you're going to get turned away. Put an awful lot of pressure on the defense. Now Clint Park is the holder, and Mark Kiefer, who is the punter, also the placement kicker for Villanova. So far this season, 13 out of 13 on points after. Trying to stretch the early lead to 7-0 as Villanova capitalizes again. And he got it. 7-0 our score. As Villanova has once again jumped on an error made by another team. They did that so effectively last week against Delaware. They do it again here today as Fordham backed itself into a corner, missed a couple of tackles, and the Wildcats made them pay for it.
One thing about the Wildcats that I've seen here, Scott, is that they create their own turnovers and they create their own big plays. Some excellent blocking on that punt return right there. Ed Diaz, as we pointed out, and on down the field. And right here, Todd Galemi scores his 3rd touchdown of the season. He just follows Anthony Causette right here, who throws a crushing block. And that's what we saw Anthony do all week last week against Delaware, is he's basically a pulling guard in the backfield.
Now, he's a big guy, has certainly the credentials as far as size is concerned at 6'2", 215, and he did throw the block that set that up. So now you've got yourself a kickoff situation for Villanova. That's Randy Tink, the freshman. See the Villanova scoring drive, not much to it, just one play, couple of yards, and a 7-0 lead. Randy Tink did a lot of kicking off last week. This is his first effort of the day today. And back deep to take it are Larry Leith, and also for the Fordham Rams, it looked like Buck Elsey, but that can't be right. We'll check on that one for you. It's going to be Leith that fields anyway, so we're safe. Standing at the 5, lots of room to run with it. Makes a couple of men miss, but gets hit down just outside the 10-yard line, maybe give him forward progress to the 13 or 14-yard line before he's stopped by the Villanova special teamers. First down and 10 coming up for the Rams.
And he led the Patriot League last year in kickoff return, Scott. Dangerous guy, did return one against Bucknell for a touchdown. So when you can keep a man like that penned in inside the 20 at the 13-yard line, you've done a nice job on the kickoff coverage.
So far, Fordham has not had desirable field position, and once again, they're caught at a loss here. Don't like to start out drives with that much of the field in front of you. This one's going to start at the 14. Sosik talking to the team, trying to see if they can get something going offensively. They've had a lot of trouble doing that this year. On first down and 10. Sosik once again looks like he may be checking off the line. And once again, the ball carrier is Robinson around the corner and lassoed out of bounds by Curtis Dunaway. They're going to give him progress out to the 16 for a pickup of 2.
Yeah, the captain and fifth-year senior Curtis Dunaway smells this play out very quickly. He comes up and makes, as soon as he sees the pitch, he smells ball right here and really makes a nice attack and is able to wrestle him out of bounds.
They do shuttle a lot of different players in and out of the game, does Fordham. First of all, to bring in plays, and second of all, as Brian told you about in the opening, they've distributed the ball to 11 different receivers this year. So far, pretty much been going on the ground here today. John Carroll's just checked in. He's the fullback in your picture in that I formation. And now a fumble. Ball's on the turf, and it looks as though with the pileup that Fordham may have gotten it back. I think it might be switching a couple of hands down there at the bottom of the pile as they investigate. And Fordham did indeed keep the football as the ball was knocked loose from Andre Robinson. Another big-time near miss and a near mistake.
And I think it was Jason Tenner, number 75, that reaches around here and is able to poke that ball out. And David Heckard really trying to go after the ball. One thing that we saw from Villanova last week was when that ball was on the ground, they were able to come up with it.
And you can see the ball was underneath his feet, was underneath, I guess it was Tenner's foot. And therefore, Fordham got an opportunity to come back and dive back on top of it. But now, they've got the undesirable 3rd down and 12 situation. They're going out of the gun. Off the high snap, Sosik deep down the field through the hands of Leaf. And Fordham will punt it away again. You can understand why Barry Cantrell, the punter, is one of the most overworked guys on this Fordham team in the early portion of the season.
And really for the first time today, Sosik had some time to throw that ball. Had Larry Leaf open in the middle of the field for a first down, he just threw too high.
So now Sosik trying to figure things out with Cartaro. He did have the man open, and a couple of times already in this game he has had men open, but maybe a little bit of rust after not having been in since midway through the opener when he hurt that knee. This is not a very good kick. Line drive. Going to take a Fordham bounce with Elder Fields and gets slammed to the ground just shy of the midfield mark. Chris Alfiero with the tackle. Villanova's going to take over, and right now we're going to take you down to the field to our sideline reporter, Ken Henderson.
Thanks, fellas. You know what? So it's
return of 2 yards
to the defensive line. Very especially on the green. It's a major concern coming into this game. It looked like that.
First and 10 Wildcats from the 50.
And back here, we come back upstairs on first down and 10. Calset through the middle. That's something odd, Brian. We didn't see him get a carry last week, but Calset does indeed come up with a carry there down to the 46-yard line.
Yeah, runs right behind the center. Andy Weidel there, and inside Chris Acano, Kevin McCarty, the guards, right up the middle. And here's a guy, Calset, who has almost pro potential in his size alone, 215 pounds. He carry the ball like a halfback, but blocks like a fullback.
Now, those 19 career touchdowns will attest to the fact that he's a guy who gets it done in short yardage situations. As we said, surprisingly last week, he was used as a lead blocker and a decoy for most of the day. Did not touch the football. Get a second down and 6 now. And man in motion is Sifford. Here comes the blitz. Baumgartner coming around the corner. They pick it up, and Park wants to run. Inside the 40, Nova first down. And Clint Park's mobility, he's already run for a bunch of yards and did it again last week. Now, that's something that this team can count on to get them out of trouble like that.
And what's good about Clint, what Dave Clawson, the offensive coordinator, likes about him is he doesn't look to run. He looks to buy time and scramble in the pocket. He'll do it when he has to, when there's no other option there. And that play right there, he gains 7 yards and he's able to get the first down. They move some chains.
Ran through the area, vacated by the blitzing linebacker. On first and 10 from the 39. Very deliberate count, quick drop. Park had his man, but missed on the pass. Rob Carter, the senior wide receiver, was coming open to the near sideline. Ball, however, led him by a bit too much, and Villanova's got a second down and long.
And playing the weak side tackle right there, Matt McKnight. The offensive line loves this West Coast offense because the ball gets out quick. That time he cut his defensive lineman in front of him as a changeup. And anytime that you can keep a defensive lineman guessing or off guard like that, it really works to your advantage.
You can see the I formation there behind Park as they step to the line of scrimmage. Fordham stepping up as if to talk about blitz. And now they're fading back out of it. Off a little play action, a little razzle-dazzle. Park in trouble, spinning and dropped. He got away from one, but couldn't get away from them all. Carl Barbera got him around the ankles as he got back just shy of the line of scrimmage. Barbera stays with the play and comes up with the tackle to drop Park for the loss.
That's Barbera's second sack of the day. It was kind of odd faking that. He's not really faking to anybody. All the backs had gone to the left. It seemed like the play really never got off on the right track to begin with. But there was good pressure right there from John Eberl, and they really closed the pocket well. And what we're seeing from Carl Barbera, he's an all-day sucker.
Third down and a little bit more than 10 yards to go. Park once again has to deal with the blitz, but has some time. Dancing around, tries to get away from Barbera, and does. Now the big lane. Spinning through the middle down to the 35-yard line. It was only the play of Gabe Garcia that kept him from getting down to the sticks again. And with the ball at the 35-yard line, Andy Talley's got a decision to make.
I tell you, right now, Scott, Villanova is having a tough time feeling out the Fordham Rams. Fordham plays a 6-1 look on defense, so there's really 4 defensive linemen and 2 outside linebackers that they got to account for. And right now, they haven't been able to pick all the guys up on any consistent basis. Clint Park doing a nice job trying to scramble right here, but this play was a wash from the beginning.
Well, now they're going on 4th down, and Park is rolling. Gets away from the rush and fires it incomplete. He had 2 receivers, Finneran crossing into the area along with Rob Carter, but it didn't come for Villanova. So, showing a lot of respect in their defense and maybe not so much respect in the Fordham offense. They're going to give it back to the Rams with 4:49 to go here in the first quarter.
And the pressure on Clint Park right now is really not the timing of this offense out that we saw them have so proficiently last week.
We'll see what Nick Cortaro has come up with now to give to his starting quarterback, Kevin Sosik. The co-captain of this team. I meant to ask you about this. A guy who at one time in his career has also played the long snapper position. How many quarterbacks have ever been a long snapper as well?
I don't know if any quarterback ever volunteers for that position. It's a strange move by the coach.
1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. This is the give straight through the middle and out to about the 39-yard line for the Fordham Rams. They're going to get a gain of about 4 yards on that play, bringing up 2nd down. Ball carrier, by the way, was Lance Shaw. You can see him there, a junior at 5'9", 190.
And Villanova rotating a lot of players up front in the front 7 already in this game. In there right now, Jason Tenner and Sean Goodrich playing on the defensive line.
Seem to be exclusively out of the I formation for this Fordham team with 3 receivers, as you can see. Sosik off play action and a pretty fake. Steps up and throws it incomplete. That sort of tickled the hands of Kevin Pertura as he tried to make the diving catch over toward that far sideline. But once again, the ball was delivered high.
And I tell you, we saw Kevin Sosik come out of the locker room to start today, and he looks a little gimpy on his knee. You'll see him with good play action fake, good ball fake. Villanova really buying it. Good protection here. He doesn't get his feet set in the ground, and the ball seems to be really sailing on him. A lot of wobbly passes coming out so far.
Also, when you're throwing the ball high and it's sailing on you a bit, you may be releasing it a little bit too soon, which is something that's going to happen when you're a bit over-anxious coming back from a couple of weeks off. On 3rd down, call it 6. Corner blitz coming, but they try to beat it with a draw, and they do. Lots of room. Inside the 45, and it's a foot race now. There's your one man to beat, and finally herded out of bounds by Kyle Helton with a big run off the draw play is Lance Shaw, the first offensive burst from the Fordham Rams, and they beat the corner blitz with the draw play.
They beat the blitz here, Scott. They had the perfect play on us. They come right up the middle. Jason Tenner kind of takes himself out of the play, and Lance Shaw shows a lot of speed in the open field. Nobody in the middle of the field. Nothing but green turf to run on.
First down of the game for the Fordham Rams.
And it was a good play-action fake as he showed a quick screen to the left right there, which really got the Villanova defenders' hands up, preparing for the pass, and came back with the draw. It was a good sucker play against that blitz.
And now Cortaro has seen something that he likes, taking care of, as Brian called it accurately, the sucker play. There's a brief delay on the field as they wanted them to not only reset the down markers, but also to reset the play clock. Fordham had been ready to come up to the line. They trail it by a 7-0 score, but the Rams in business in the Villanova red zone with the nose of the football just outside that 12-yard line. And maybe a little bit of renewed confidence for this Fordham Rams offensive unit. Shaw is that lone setback. Man in motion is Frittura, and we got a flag on the play. It's as though there may have been motion, and I believe that one's going to go against the Rams.
And they were going to run a draw on that play. I could see by Andrew Green right there, the right tackle, who moved early on the play. He was trying to set up Chris McAvina for a quick draw type play. They're going to try and do the same thing to Villanova right there in the next play.
You don't often see that, by the way. Off in the huddle for Fordham, James Simmons, small wide receiver, actually picked up the flag and threw it back to the official. This always is almost throwing it at him.
Don't want to do that, Scott. Don't want to get those guys going against you right now.
And there on the sidelines, you just saw Jess Sadowski, who is gone for the year with the injury you saw him get last week here against Delaware.
Torn ACL. We wish him well.
1st and 15. Crouching down deep is Sozik. Another blitz coming, and bang! Curtis Dunaway came through untouched.
Curtis Dunaway came between the guard tackle gap on the right side here, Scott. And the reason why this worked so well was his timing. He timed that just as Corey Bailey was making a snap to Kevin Sosick. And when you do that kind of timing, there's very little for the quarterback to do. Lucky there wasn't an exchange problem. Here he is coming right between the guard and the tackle right there. Too slow for the back to get to him.
In a situation like that, if you're a quarterback, can you vary the count, or do you mess up your offensive line by doing it?
Well, Kevin Sosick right now is a little bit off timing as his passes. It's also a little bit off timing when you're making the audible calls.
Here's the draw on 2nd and 17, and once again Shaw running off the draw, gets some good yardage. Got to get back to about the original line of scrimmage, setting up a 3rd down and 10 yards to go.
And Deion Jackson making really the touchdown-saving tackle right there. There was nobody behind him. Once again, just a draw play up front, and they're taking Jason Tenor out of the action. The tackles inside. Ryan Knight, number 95, also widened. Big gap to run through right there.
Also, good job by center Corey Bailey, as you saw there, coming in and clearing out the linebacker Curtis Dunaway to make that gain possible. 3 carries, 62 yards for Shaw. And once again, the lone setback on 3rd down and a long 10. They've got to get it just outside the 2-yard line to keep this going. That pass is complete, and down to about the 5 is Frittura. It's not going to be enough for the 1st down. But in a 4th down situation, I would guess that Quintaro would like to take some points here and to go for the field goal.
Yeah, you got to get points up on the board right now. I don't think you can take that gamble. Although you are playing on the road, you are playing against a Yankee Conference team. Maybe you do go for the 7 right now, Scott, but I think they just want to get to sure 3 and kick off. The defense is playing very well for them right now.
Mark Ruoff is on now to attempt this field goal. So far this season, 2 out of 3. As far as this range is concerned, this is going to be about a 22-yarder. In this range, he's 1 for 1 this year from that right hash mark. The holder, Barry Cantrell, the punter. Not much of a wind to deal with. Kick is up, and it is no good. He missed it wide to the right as it curled around the upright. And a big drive, a big play for Shaw that could have set something up. Fordham comes away empty, and Villanova will take over again.
It's kind of a tough angle in that play right there, Scott, for him to kick. But Mark has shown good accuracy inside the 40-yard line this year.
So with 1:47 left to go here in the 1st, Villanova with that 7-0 lead, and now the football back again. I suppose they're talking about it on the sidelines to figure out exactly why that ball that was kind of set to hook in didn't actually do so until it got past the upright. And now the officials blow their whistles once again, and it looks as though and we're going to get a timeout here from Fordham. Fordham has elected to take a timeout as they try to reset themselves defensively. I don't know that they had enough players on the field.
You know, there was sometimes when there's a turnaround like that, Scott, where there's a missed field goal, guys are kind of asleep at the wheel on the sideline, and they're not really paying attention to the transfer or the change of possession. Right now, Andy Talley's got to be really, really upset and concerned, Scott, because this is not the same Wildcat football team we saw take the field against Delaware last week. And that's the biggest concern that a head coach has after a huge victory, is being able to keep his forces up for the next week's game. You look at Fordham on paper, you look at them on tape, Scott, it looks like it should be a runaway. But right now, Fordham's making the plays. Villanova unable to make any plays so far.
Let's take you down to the field for another update from Ken Henderson. Ken?
Thanks, fellas. Down here on the field, back on offense, Clint Park is in, but he was a little shaken up after that last series. Offensive coordinator Dave Clawson said Plant your feet, get rid of the ball. I don't want you running.
Well, obviously that takes away at least a portion of the arsenal for Clint Park. He has run a couple of times, gotten hit pretty hard. They want him to get rid of the ball if he's being chased around back there. The Fordham rush has stepped up here late in the first quarter. Villanova, as you see, has moved the sticks 3 times. They lead it 7-0. This is Sifford on the toss. They come up and force it upfield, and he does a good job of turning it upfield to get out near the 25-yard line. Last man in on the hit and laying in on top of the pile is Jack Piercini.
And Scott, talking to some of the offensive linemen of Villanova this week, the one concern they did have about Fordham's defensive front was that they do a lot of twisting up front. And so a guy that looks like he's standing in front of you at the snap of the ball will be moving in a different direction. They'll be shooting gaps, and somebody will come around and take his place.
Sifford once again, the lone setback. Got a man in to help with the pass rush. And now Park, even though he's instructed not to, is running with the football. He is dragged down by John Eberl at about the 27-yard line. So moments after we heard Clint Park's not supposed to run the football, he tucked it away and did just that.
Scott, those are just instincts of a quarterback and an athlete and a very, very tough competitor right here. There's a lot of pressure inside. You see the 2 defensive tackles, Barbera and Fitzsimmons, twisting up front. And Villanova not doing a great job right now of passing that off and keeping the pocket clean for Clint Park.
The nose of the football is going to be just outside the 27, as you can see Park making like a running back there. On 3rd down, Park rolling, Park throwing, got a man, Fitterin, first down. And out near midfield before he's shoved out of bounds by Bill Tierney. But a good job by Clint Park of finding his open receiver, Brian Fitterin, his first catch of the day.
And big-time block in the backfield by Seifert here on number 92, Zach Rapp, as he comes free. Really giving Clint Park time to throw this ball to his favorite receiver.
He just found that spot and just sat there until Clint Park delivered the football. You've got 27 seconds left here in the quarter. There's Brian Fitterin coming off his first catch of the day. So with the nose of the football at midfield, Wildcats will work out of the shotgun. Park's looking left all the way, and there's Fitterin again with some room and some hard running down near the 27-yard line. Another pickup of almost 23 yards.
And that time coming out of the shotgun formation, we haven't seen much of that so far, and really gave Clint Park a good view to find his favorite receiver. One thing that we know about Brian Fitterin is he always picks up yards after the catch. This time, no difference here as he's able to do a nice pivot in the middle of the field, pick up an extra 10 yards.
Game clock is now down to 12 seconds, but once again, the official says they did not reset the 25-second clock. I want to make sure that the yard markers are in the right places as well. The nose of the football just outside that 23-yard line with 12 seconds to go here in the quarter. Villanova on the move again. Got a 7-0 lead, and they're looking for more. They've decided to use a bit more of the shotgun, and Park is in that shotgun formation, as you can see. Here comes another big blitz from the outside. He let it go, and it got knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Perhaps had to get rid of it a bit early because Tim Baumgartner was coming like gangbusters around the right defensive side for the Fordham Rams.
And you're going to see Fordham continue to stunt and continue to blitz because their secondary is very young and very inexperienced, and the best way to defend the pass is really to put pressure on the quarterback.
Here's Mike Shelley out of Massapequa, and of course out of the same high school as Brian Baldinger.
Thank you, Scott.
I just figured we'd get it in one more time. 9 seconds left in the quarter. Park now back down under center. Cowsett moves into the eye. Park says, don't like what I see, so he's going to go over to the sideline and talk it over with Andy Talley with just 9 ticks remaining on the clock here in the first quarter. And Villanova leading it by a score of 7-0. Get an opportunity to look back, however, in a moment ago with Brian Fitterin making a big catch.
Yeah, and what you see from Brian is he never, ever stops his feet when he catches the ball. He's always looking to turn his shoulders upfield, Scott, and get those yaks, those yards after a catch. Very important for an offense to be able to pick those yards when possible.
Among the Wildcats' all-time leading receivers, second-team All-Yankee Conference as a freshman. He's a junior now, but 2 years ago, 56 receptions and 7 touchdowns. A heck of a debut. He had 9 catches last week. You see a couple more today.
Already 27 catches coming into today's game over 3 games.
Second down, 10 Villanova.
He is absolutely the go-to guy for this Villanova offense. So they just spent the timeouts and talked things over. They'll have second down and 10 now. With the ball resting, well, just inside the 28-yard line. That's an offset I formation behind Park, and Sifford's going to run it. Good blocking. inside the 20 and heard it out just outside the 15-yard line as Sifford. Once again, Shane McAndrew had to come over from the corner to take him out, but another Villanova first down with just 2 seconds left here in the quarter.
A whole bunch of bodies over the left side, Scott. Matt McKnight playing the weak side left tackle, and Chris O'Connor, the left guard, do a nice job of clearing the corner. And once again, we have to give credit to Anthony Cossett, who's just a terrific lead blocker, opening up the way for Sifford to really turn the corner.
There will be one more play left in this first quarter before they wrap things up, and Villanova trying to expand on the 7-0 lead.
This was their counter tray play where they pull the backside guard and tackle Kevin McCarty and Mitch McCrimmon. They really like to try to force the corner on that play.
That's Cossett in motion. Sifford looked like an option for a second, and now he's running for the corner. The race is on, and he's going to pick up nearly 5 as he gets down to the 10-yard line on what will be the final play of the first quarter. So the Villanova Wildcats, now the number 18 team in the nation in 1AA, back in the rankings again, have themselves a lead after one down and 3 to go. As the Villanova fans cheer on, it's Villanova 7, 4-0. Scott Graham and Brian Baldinger will be back in a moment. A lot to cheer about and a lot to do the chicken dance about here at Villanova Stadium as the Wildcats, as we told you, ranked for the first time since 1993. I don't know if folks will remember as much, however, Brian, the fact that once for a period of 25 straight weeks beginning in 1991, Villanova was right there, including a best-ever number 2 ranking for 3 straight weeks back in 92.
They have an opportunity right now, Scott, to be in that top 20 ranking, certainly maybe even the top 10 ranking. With the schedule in front of them, the talent that they have, and as well coached as this team is, they're going to get an opportunity to start another streak here.
Well, where they sit right now is 2-1 overall, and that one loss, the season opener, a tough battle with Division I Rutgers. But the Scarlet Knights finally won 38-28. Now it's a 2nd down and 5 situation for the Wildcats as they shift direction. They're moving from the left side to the right side of your screen as we begin the second quarter of play. Fordham still trying to figure things out here. They did have one offensive burst, got deep down into Villanova territory, and missed a chip shot of a 22-yard field goal, which is why there's still a goose egg on the Fordham side of the scoreboard. Now Park going to work. And that's Sifford. He's got an escort, but caught from behind, kind of slowed down a little bit. Down low was Bill Tierney, and trailing the play from behind was Baumgartner to make sure that Sifford wasn't getting a whole lot.
And Scott, I don't want to tell Villanova how to run this play, but they're not running it correctly. This is the counter tray play led by Kevin McCarty, the right guard. And Kevin is their best athlete, very, very good on his feet. But Sifford's got to take that play upfield.
You can see the total yardage in the first quarter very much in Villanova's favor, as are the first downs. Look at the passing yards, just 5 and 1 completed pass for the Fordham Rams. 3rd down now, almost the full 5 left to go. Park wants to throw. Look at end zone, touchdown! And once again, Fitterin crossing toward the post and beyond has found his way into the end zone. It's a Villanova touchdown of 10 yards from Park to Fitterin and a 13-0 lead.
And Fitterin just running a simple post pattern into the middle of the field. It all starts with the protection. Clint Park is kept clean up front. Villanova finally doing a good job picking up those stunts inside, Scott, and really just pitch and catch with a very, very good target, tall, rangy receiver like Brian Fitterin.
43 seconds into the second quarter, and the Wildcats now gunning for a 14-0 lead. I think the crowd came out here today expecting to do a lot of celebrating of moments exactly like that one. Mark Kiefer to attempt the extra point out of Park's hold, and it is good. 14-0 ball game. Villanova sitting on top now with 14-17 to go till the break. And the Wildcats once again come up with a good offensive drive, capped off once again by Clint Park.
You see Chris O'Connell there in the front of your screen doing a nice job holding off the linebacker coming through. And Fitterin really, there's just a mismatch there in size and really takes advantage. Here you see just working the middle of the field where Fordham's weakness really is in the secondary as he's able to find a little crease there in the middle of the field.
That was a free safety responsibility, Darrell White, to come over and try to stop him, but he couldn't get it done. So the Villanova drive, 9 plays, 80 yards for the score, and once again they'll be kicking the football back to Fordham, this time up by a 14-0 score. The band and the crowd want more as Randy Tink tees it up to kick it away. And once again, back deep to take this one is going to be Larry Leith, also back there for Fordham.
And Larry Leaf deep.
Is Brian Mistretta, a freshman defensive back. Tink has it teed up, 14-0 our score, and a good kick. It's Leaf at about his own 3, trying the other way, and hit, and dropped. Nice looking play from the Villanova special teams by Todd Galemi, who also has a touchdown today. Now comes up with a big special teams play and a big hit.
Great tackle in the open field by Todd Galemi right here. Very, very tough player. The players really think that he's just the type of guy that is just classified as a football player.
Did a great job of shedding a block there and dropped Leaf right in his tracks. As you can see there, as we mentioned a moment ago, 9 plays, 80 yards. Finneran hauling it in from 10 yards away. 14-0, Nova on top, and Fordham going to work. They send the tight end in motion. Off-play action, Sosik through the middle, incomplete. Once again, he turned his receiver around. That's John Nelson, the former Penn State Nittany Lion transfer.
This may get to be a long, hard day for Kevin Sosik right here. The best pass that he throws all day here to his tight end, John Nelson, which would have been a first down. He gets crushed by Chris McAvina on the backside as he delivers that ball.
And so it'll be a second down situation now for the Fordham offense. They got the little wide receiver, James Simmons, all 5'6" of him, out to that far side of the field. Shaw, as you can see there, the lone setback. Once again, tight end in motion. And movement on the line of scrimmage. This is going to result in a Fordham penalty as they're going to get backed up 5 more yards and have a second down and 15.
Yeah, it's going to be the left tackle, Bart Gratian here, number 65. Just flinches a little bit in his stance.
Came up out of it, rocked back. That's the second time it's happened, the second Fordham penalty. Let's take it down field side now with Ken Henderson. Ken?
You know, guys, a lot of similarities between the two Finneran brothers. When they came here as freshmen, they looked alike. They're so much alike that the Villanova staff said, thank God that Brian went out and got a haircut so they could tell them apart. There's no question you can tell Brian Finneran when he's on the field these days.
That is very much the case. The go-to receiver for this Villanova team, and with a touchdown to his credit, now Fordham is elected to take a timeout. They just seem completely out of sync right now. So we're going to take a timeout too because, well, we're in sync. 14:08 to go till halftime. The Wildcats up 14-0. We're right back. Talking things over on the sidelines for Villanova. A little slow getting started offensively, but I'm sure that Andy Talley and his team pretty happy with the way things have gone offensively for this team as the game has progressed.
And Brian Finneran right there, he capped off that last 80-yard march with a 10-yard touchdown catch. That's what we expected to see out here today. That type of execution, the ability to put plays together to make those long drives.
Now they're talking about bringing him across the field.
Talking to Dave Clausen right there, the offensive coordinator.
They're talking about bringing him across the field as Fordham has had some trouble having the safety keep up with that play as Finneran has come across like he did on the touchdown. Now back to play with the Rams facing 2nd and 15. That's a rolling pocket. Sosik hit as he throws, and it's incomplete, but he was just buried by Derek Forgione with the backside pursuit.
Yeah, they had a rolling pocket there to the right for Kevin Sosik, but they blitzed the middle linebacker, David Heckert, which also put a little bit of pressure on Kevin. And as Derek jumps on his back, very difficult to make any kind of completion like that.
There you can see the story. Just 2 out of 7 for 5 yards through the air. We told you that this is a passing football team as Fordham. They like to distribute the ball. They like to get it done through the air. Well, 5 total yards ought to tell you a lot about why that goose egg is up on the Fordham side of the scoreboard.
They do have a good middle of their offensive line, and Mark Bork, Corey Bailey, Ryan Steffen. The tackles are very, very green and inexperienced, and they're showing that against some very good outside rushes today of Chris McAvina.
Now this time Sosik's got triplet receivers out to the far side. And the shovel pass is incomplete as he tried to find Shaw. That's a play you've seen a lot of being run by the Denver Broncos in recent years as John Elway has kind of perfected that play. The inside shovel, but Shaw couldn't hang on.
It's a good play, Scott, when you spread an offense out, like they're spread out here with all the wide receivers. You spread out the defensive line, you just try to find a crack right there. And that play was nothing but open field right here if they can just hang on to the ball by length.
Well, standard once again, as a coach would say, of trying to run before you catch the football. So Barry Cantrell, standing just inside his own end zone, releases a line drive kick. That's Withelder. Straight through the middle. Good running down inside the 45-yard line, which is where the Wildcats are going to pick it back up again on 1st down and 10.
That's what you look for, Scott, out of your punt returner with Felder right there. Just take the ball right up the field, try to crack the first wave of defenders coming at you, and then use your ability, your talent and skill in the open field to make some elusive moves.
1st and 10 Wildcats.
Nice day for football, slightly overcast here at Villanova Stadium. Last week it was a prevailing wind that played a large portion of the story of the game for the first 3 quarters. Today it's fairly calm. That's Clint Park down under center on 1st down and 10. And through the middle, Calcett got some room, kicking it out. He can go. It's a foot race now to the corner. Calcett with a stiff arm inside the 10. He's out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Off the right side of the field as Anthony Calcett turned it from inside back out again.
And Scott, what we talked about with Anthony Calcett is here's a fullback's body, but runs like a tailback, and he used both those qualities here as he pounds the middle of the line right behind Andy Weidel right there, and then he's able to burst on the outside like a tailback coming to the outside. You'll see Kevin McCarty right here doing a nice job of picking off middle linebacker Jack Piercini right here and really opening up the backside cutback for Calcett.
36-yard run brings his totals of the day for 2 carries, 40, and now 1st and goal inside the 10 for the Villanova Wildcats. Park on the pitch. This is Sifford. He's got some room in a lane and a dive and a touchdown. Didn't even have to leave his feet. He prepped as if to dive, and then it came open for him as he dances his way in, expanding that Villanova lead now to 20 points.
That's a great tandem, Anthony Calcett and Curtis Sifford right there. Calcett throwing the lead block here as he's able to turn the corner. You know, Fordham's 6-1 type of defensive front. Really the weakness is in the middle, because if you can pick off the middle linebacker Piercini like they did the play before, you could go a long ways. But this time they stretched the defense here, and Sifford's able to pick up his hole.
Once again, a lot to celebrate for this Villanova team as they have watched during the course of the year their squad slide into the number 19 position in the national rankings. Extra point attempt is up and good for Mark Kiefer, and we got ourselves a 21-0 ball game early 2nd quarter here at Villanova Stadium. Kiefer high fives all around with the point going through, and Sifford comes up with a touchdown run off that right side. Here you see a couple of plays, 44 yards. And the Villanova offensive machine is absolutely in motion now after a slow start.
And here you'll see Curtis Sifford on just the pitch right. That's Anthony Calcett, the lead blocker right here. Sifford does a nice job of really juking Jack Piercini, the middle linebacker, who was not blocked, but just used his speed and his elusiveness here to freeze him on the sweep to the right. Here he is dancing right in the hole, and he just stretches. That's just nothing more than speed right there. And then a nice dive into the end zone, really smelling the 6 points.
Now, Andy Talley has seen a lot over the course of the last 10 or so minutes of football to make him happy. His team up by 3 touchdowns. Fordham in danger of going 0-3. It was not always this way, however, for the Fordham Rams. Do you realize that this is the 60th anniversary of the 7 blocks of granite team with Vince Lombardi playing as football at
60
Fordham?
years ago, that's correct, Scott.
They got a celebration planned up at Fordham for later on this year on homecoming day. That's Leaf off the kickoff, near side, big lane. And with some speed, here he goes. Trying to beat a couple. Tink is in there on the ring down, as is Turner, but it's out near the 45-yard line, and Fordham down 21 gets a spark from Larry Leaf.
And it was the block by strong safety Bill Tierney that really freed him up to be able to go down the left sideline. Terrific open field block. You'll just see
44-yard line.
We picked it up a little bit late right here, Scott, but the opening was created by the strong safety Bill Tierney, number 28, throwing a terrific block, which freed up Larry Leaf.
Well, you know, Leaf wants to have a big day. He's from Philadelphia, played high school ball at Germantown Academy. Coming back home again and coming up with a big return. It's 1st and 10. Linebackers look like they're coming on a blitz, and Kevin Sosek says, no, you're not. I'm taking a timeout. Probably a wise timeout there by Sosek, because a little bit of momentum has come back Fordham's way, but they're trailing it big on the scoreboard. A 21-0 ball game here at Villanova Stadium. Scott Graham and Brian Baldinger will be back after these words. And there you've got Nick Quartaro as we come back to Villanova Stadium, talking things over with his quarterback Kevin Sosek. Fordham trailing Villanova now by a 21-0 score. As we said, it was that 7 blocks of granite team for Fordham, and actually I had never been up to Fordham to see something like this. There's a whole shrine to Vince Lombardi up there in the Bronx in their athletic facility.
Yeah, it's actually a very, very nice facility. Beautiful campus right in the middle of
the Bronx.
The Bronx. It's say no more, right, Scott?
Villanova, as you can see, with 7 first downs to just 1 for the Fordham Rams, and that came on a big, quick opening draw play. It put Fordham in scoring position, but they missed a field goal. Now showing signs of blitz and falling back out of it again. Little swing pass to the little guy Simmons, and he's got some speed. Can't get around the tackle, however, of Ezekiel Lewis, a freshman defensive back who comes up to make the stop at around the 50-yard line.
Usually on that play right there, Scott, you'd like to have a little bit of interference running for Simmons right here, and you try to get the other 2 receivers that aren't in the pattern trying to throw a lead block right here. They don't get much help right here.
He is not a big guy, just 5'6", as we mentioned, and 140 pounds. But he has averaged 14 yards a catch in his Fordham career, with a lot of running like that after the catch. On 2nd and 5. Straight pump drop, and they're setting up the screen. Robinson's got a blocker, a first down, and a dive ahead to the 43-yard line as he's brought down around the ankles by Kyle Helton.
And that was Ryan Steffen, the right guard, who does a decent job of getting out in the screen right here and picking off the linebacker that was covering Andre Robinson on the screen. Here you'll see Steffen coming into your picture. He's number 74 over on the left side. Does a nice job right there of coming after Jason Gattuso and just screening him enough for Robinson to come underneath.
Andre Robinson, the senior out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, whose given name, by the way, is not Andre, but Marion. And Marion just got hit at the line of scrimmage and thrown for a loss by David Heckard. The freshman comes up and snuffs it for a loss of a yard back to the 44.
Well, that was a similar play that they ran in the first quarter, Scott, that Lance Shaw was able to break right in the middle, that quick hitting draw. But right there, David Heckard staying at home. Very good instincts for a freshman.
Last year, the Pennsylvania State Wrestling Champ in the 189-pound class. His career wrestling record, 111-17. You don't want to mess with that guy.
Third strongest guy on the team, Scott. 25 repetitions, 225 pounds in the bench press.
I can do that. 2nd down now and 11 yards to go, and out of the shotgun, Sosik's running for his life again. Back across his body. Ball's incomplete. They're going to rule it uncatchable. There was some contact down there between Shannon Riley and tight end John Nelson. The ball was a good 5 to 7 yards overthrown, so it merely goes down as an incomplete pass.
Villanova came with the blitz that time from the outside linebacker position. You'll see Curtis Dunaway come into your screen. Almost came free right there to be able to put the hit on the backside of Kevin Sosik. Once again, we've seen that when Sosik is being chased and he has to throw on the move, Scott, not very accurate with the ball, because I think John Nelson had a step on that play right there.
A lot of trouble getting the ball out to his wide receivers today for Kevin Sosik. He's going to passing down again on 3rd and 11. It's like the blitz may be coming. They hold off it. Sosik's got a man, a completion, and a first down. Nice move by Chris Alfiero to come open on the near side of the football field, and they got it down to the 27-yard line for a Fordham first.
For the first time, Kevin Sosik really planted his feet and delivered the ball with authority right here as he throws probably the best pass he's thrown all day. Good protection up front. Again, good Jason Gattuso blitzing from the outside. Fordham doing a nice job of picking it up.
And so Alfiero, the sophomore out of Wayne, New Jersey, brings in another Fordham first down. 1st and 10 on the 27-yard line. Here comes the blitz again, and in some trouble and down. Actually, he went down before he ever got hit with Sosik. And once again, Curtis Dunaway had an open, free lane to the quarterback.
It was the same blitz that we saw in the first quarter that led to the same result. Curtis Dunaway coming free right between the guard-tackle gap right here. And there's just not enough time for Andre Robinson to get there to be able to pick him off. Now, that's really the quarterback's fault right there, Scott.
The guard is coming over to try to help on Forgione and trying to take him toward the middle. And what he's doing is he's turning his back on the blitzer.
And either what they have to do is pull down Andrew Green, the right tackle, to pick him up and leave the back on the defensive end.
2nd down and now 13 yards to go for the Rams in a rolling pocket this time. Sosik in trouble, and he's down again. Forgione got him again, coming straight through the middle. The all-conference contender with a sack, and Villanova's defensive line beginning to assert itself.
Yeah, they're really starting to take over the action right here. Even on this simple rollout to the right, they do a nice job right here. Corey Bailey, the center, is trying to come over the top to pick up Forgione. Forgione really just a nice job just scraping down the line of scrimmage, and the center really can't get any kind of leverage to screen him.
Corey Bailey was chasing, but at that point, Forgione had a couple of steps and anticipated the rolling pocket. So now they're going backwards. 3rd and 19 yards to go. Ball at the 36. Villanova probably playing a bit of prevent here in a nickel package. They'll roll left this time, looking to throw. Sosik's pass is going to be incomplete. No way he can get it into the double coverage, and Dave Skoblik, who is coming to the near side of the field, very slow getting up as Kevin Sosik getting a hand there from his offensive lineman Bart Gray-Shin. It will be a 4th down situation for the Fordham Rams, down 21 points though with the ball on the Villanova 36. Would not be surprised if Nick Cartaro said, let's go for this.
What we're seeing from the Wildcat defense right now is blitzes on 1st and 2nd down, putting Fordham into a little bit of a hole, and then sitting back, just using their 4-man rush, dropping 7 into coverage, making it very difficult for Sosik to find an open receiver.
Now, if the Rams want to get back in this game, this is a big 4th down and 19 to try to keep a drive going. They haven't been in Villanova territory much today. Down 21-0. And movement, and the guy who moved was Dave Skoblik. The wide receiver split to the far side. He took off before the snap. So as if 4th and 19 wasn't difficult enough, it's now going to be 4th down and 24.
And coaches hate when that type of error happens, because the wide receiver really doesn't need to do anything else but look at the ball, Scott. That's when you're going. You're not listening to any kind of a snap count. And Nick Cortaro right there is trying to figure out just what he's doing.
I believe the 3 fingers were for it was a 3 count. And apparently that's not something that Dave Skoblik was tuned in on. 5th punt now and 6th possessions for Fordham. As Barry Cantrell's working hard. He had 10 punts in Fordham's first 2 games. This is already his 5th here today. And we're still pretty early on with 9:49 to go till halftime. A couple of Wildcats back deep to take this one. Josh Dolben is also back there with Ron Withelder. The ball off the side of his foot is going to get inside the 20-yard line, but not by much. It will be Villanova football at their own 18 as they spot it. Not a good kick for Barry Cantrell, and not a lot of things going right now for the Fordham Rams.
That was Nate McIntyre, the defensive end, that came free right there, that put a lot of pressure on Cantrell. You'll see it right here. The Villanova leaves the starting defense on the field, and Nate McIntyre going up against the linebacker right here on the rush really does a great job of almost taking it off of Cantrell's foot.
All 6'3" of them. Had there been 6'4", that punt may have been blocked. On 1st down from the 18-yard line. Sifford once again is the lone setback behind Park, who wants to throw. And that's Brad Finneran. Good for a 5-yard gain and a classic West Coast offense pass on 1st down.
The ball's in the air for a long ways there. Clint Park putting a little muster on that ball. It's just a simple, quick rollout to the right, setting up behind the offensive tackle right there. Mitch McCrimmon and Brian Finneran, and also very good hands, just like his brother.
So as you can see, the roll and the throw almost like a shortstop, throwing from the hole at short. It's a 5-yard gain.
14, Boston University, nothing.
On 2nd down, Park wants to throw again. Down the middle, got a man. Dolben's there, and now we got another foot race. If he can beat him, no. Ankle tackle was made. And a touchdown-saving tackle by Carlton Glassford as Dolben just went straight up the seam from the right side and came within 1 ankle tackle of a big touchdown.
Josh Dolben just down the seam right here. Clint Park, really good protection up front. He's able to step up into the pocket, deliver this ball with some authority. Josh Dolben last week, 8 catches, 88 yards, Scott, in a touchdown, and he's smelling the goal line on this run right here. A game-saving, really a touchdown-saving tackle by Carlton Glassford.
As you can see on the replay, a nice effort from Glassford as he had to dive right here and just got a piece of Dolben's ankle. On the 23, 1st down and 10 again for Nova. They keep it moving. Off play action, Park throws, Finneran's there, nice catch, and the ballet dance takes him out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
Oh, Brad Finneran, what a nice job walking the tightrope here on the sideline, but terrific pass by Clint Park. Not really a whole lot of other area that he could have put that ball where it would have been received and kept away from the defender.
Here you can see Park off the play action, looking right side all the way, and he knew where he was going. Actually threw it off his back foot.
You can't really see. Oh, he gets both feet in bounds. Also in college, of course, only 1 foot needs to be in bounds for the reception to be complete.
So now Nova knocks on the door, trying to expand a 21-0 lead on 1st and goal. There's the pitch. Galemi's already got one score today. He's going to get stopped short there. Carl Barbera was the first man at point of attack at about the 2-yard line, so not much of a gain for the Villanova offense. We'll have second down and goal.
On the play, second
and this is just a pitch to the left. They pull the left guard, Kevin McCarty, their best athlete on the offensive line. But right here, Galemi sees something inside. He takes the ball away from his blocker right there. He's kind of on his own when he does that.
Well, Barbera did a good job of getting to that point and then of planting him down. We told you before, he's a co-captain and an All-America candidate. On second and goal. That man in motion is Brad Finneran. Cal said now the deep back, and he's going to try it. Gets hit behind the line of scrimmage, and once again, not a whole lot there. Jim Ciarlante coming off a career weekend last weekend, and also from this area in Hamilton, New Jersey. He came up with the hit, coming in from the near side.
And that's also the middle linebacker, Jack Piercini here, who was able to wrap him up. But when they go to Anthony Cossette here, they want the big back. They want the weight and the size to be able to hit the line of scrimmage. But like you said, Jim Ciarlante with the first hit, really just squeezing down on the play, doesn't get blocked on this formation.
Ciarlante has played in all 33 games coming into this season, the last 3 years, a former transfer from Army.
From West Point in the military academy.
So we got a timeout now as we're going to talk things over, but Villanova just comfortably in front here as Clint Park is going to come and talk it over. There you can see the numbers. Pretty effective today at the 8 out of 13 mark, and the big number, of course, the 1 touchdown and no interceptions. If you missed it last week, Park had a very rough day against Rutgers earlier this year, and a tremendous number of interceptions in that game. He still has the 7 interception total for the season, but has only thrown a couple of them in the last 2 weeks.
And already up to 6 touchdown passes right now, and we'll probably see them put it up in the air right here. 2 quick runs into the middle of this line. I think that right now, Andy Talley, Dave Clausen, I think they're going to opt to put this ball in the air.
7:26 to go till the break, and Villanova can up the lead now beyond the 21-0 mark where it is. Probably 2-down situation on 3rd and goal. Cal said once again, the deep back in that eye. Diaz is the fullback. Parks throwing, got a man, incomplete. Boy, he had his man, and checking in on the play from the defensive side of the ball was Macavina, who was set up as the, I guess, tackle eligible.
Yeah, he came in and declared himself eligible, played the tight end position. He comes in on short yards and goal line situations, Scott. He's their 3rd tight end. At that time, they tried to give him a little of an opportunity to make a big play, get a little stardom coming his way, unable to make the completion.
Every lineman wants an opportunity to score a touchdown.
We all love that position right there, Scott. We could make all the sacks and all the tackles in the world. You catch a touchdown pass, suddenly you're a star.
Chris Berman's talking about you if you're playing in the NFL. Said it was 2-down situation, and it is. 4th down now out of the offset eye. Park rolling, throwing, got him, touchdown. Galset comes out of his slot position and finds a room just inside the goal line for the Villanova touchdown and a 27-0 Wildcat lead.
And that's Anthony Cossette coming out of the backfield here. All he does is look like he's going to come to be the lead blocker, and then he tails off into the end zone, finds a little opening in the seam right here. Nice pitch and catch between him and Clint Park. Man knows how to find the end zone.
Senior with his 2nd touchdown of the season, and now it is Mark Kiefer to attempt the extra point and stretch this lead to 28-0. Park the holder, and we've got ourselves a 28-0 ball game, still with 7:19 to go here in the first half of play. Villanova has now scored a touchdown on its last 3 possessions and scored overall on 4 of their 5 first half possessions.
And their talent is really beginning to take over.
Now, up on top, we got the ball that just basically flew into the location. That's the cage that's up behind the goalpost, and it's a pretty good height on that ball. Yeah, and just like you said, an offensive lineman lives for the opportunity to score. The guys that are up there live for the opportunity to see the football come their way.
Doesn't happen probably too often. They got themselves a little bit of a thrill. Usually, you know, at this time of the year, nobody's even paying any attention to him. Right here, Cossette just comes out of the backfield, finds a little hole in the seam. He's able to beat the defender here on just a quick out.
Now, Bill Tierney didn't have much of a chance there as Cossette just stepped inside the end zone, and Park delivered the ball in a good spot.
And delivers the ball with confidence, too, Scott. I mean, he really sets his feet. He delivers a tight spiral and very accurate on the delivery.
There's Cossette. He's enjoying that one after not touching the ball at all last week. Once again, another kickoff for Randy Tink in a 28-0 game. Robert Davis now returning the football outside the 30-yard line, and he's up to about the 32, which is where the Fordham offensive unit will start.
That's Brian Barajas on the tackle.
Did the guy hit me? Huh? Did he hit me? No.
Cal said talking it over with Clint Park there. A job well done by the Villanova offense, as we said, have scored on 4 of their 5 possessions. They've gone touchdown on 4 out of 5. I'll tell you what, as they continue to rock back a little bit, look what they've done. They've made a couple of defensive substitutions already, giving the starters a little bit of a breather with 7:14 to go in the half. That's Fred Toure in motion. And Shaw through the middle is going to get out to the 43-yard line for a pickup of about 2. That's not much of a way to get back from a 28-0 deficit.
No, it isn't, and that's the freshman David Heckert at middle linebacker. Really sniffs out this play. It almost looks like he blitzes on the play. He reaches so quickly. It was an inside trap as they pull Mark Bork to left guard. But David Heckert just steps up and fills it. He's reading the guards as part of his key. That's why he was able to sniff that play out so quickly.
So now Sosek has 2 receivers right and 1 to the left. There's the setback you can see, and Shaw the lone setback. And Sosek once again audibilizing at the line. Because Villanova once again is showing blitz, they fall out of it. Now a flag on the play. And once again, I believe we got a motion call coming against Fordham. That's the 3rd time that's happened in this one.
Yeah, they seem to be a little out of sync. You know, this is Kevin Sosek's first game back, and since the opener against Maine, and sometimes when you put a different quarterback in there, Scott, the cadence is different. Guys hear things differently than they were used to the last week with Dane Medine.
Now with the 5-yard backup, it's going to take it back to the 29-yard line. So 2nd down and now 13 yards left for the first down for Fordham. As you can see, they've been hit 3 times. All of them have been false start calls on the offense.
And all these mistakes, very costly to an offense. 2nd and 13, difficult situation to come out of.
Sosek has him overloaded right there. You see the triplet receivers at the top of your screen. And he's calling out blocking assignments now as once again Villanova shows blitz. And here they come. Sosek gets rid of it, finds his man, good-looking toss, and a nice catch for Jamie Simmons. The little guy across the middle gets it out to the 39-yard line.
James Simmons.
Sosek, good rhythm, good timing there as he hit Simmons on a quick slant route, beating the one-on-one coverage that they have here. Villanova showing blitz in this play, but they drop out, but the ball delivered very quickly. David Heckert, not even an opportunity to really make a play right there as Simmons, like a flea, is able to pass right in front of him.
That's exactly the kind of play that Nick Cartaro had been hoping for from the get-go in this game, and maybe Kevin Sosek could use that to reestablish some of his rhythm. On 3rd and a long 3. And they're going to run the football, and Shaw's not going to make it. Gets it out to the 41-yard line, a yard short, and down 28 in a 3rd down situation. I don't know that I see the wisdom of the call.
I don't either, Scott. I tell you what, that's a long, hard day right there if you're going to try and make it. As the middle linebacker just stays right in the hole, David Heckert, not moving at all. Nobody gets on him, and really no room to run on this play.
Lance Shaw out of Gladwin, Pennsylvania, just a short stone's throw from here down the Schuylkill Expressway in Philadelphia. On 4th down, once again, Barry Cantrell forced to punt his 6th kick of the day. And a nice catch, if not a dangerous run, from Ron Withelder. We got a flag on the play, and I believe Fordham's going to get hit with the interfering in the ability to make a catch.
Number 22, Chris Alferio here, not giving enough time here or enough room to be able to make this reception cleanly. Interferes with the return man right here.
I think he came down, as many special teamers do, anticipating a big hit when the guy doesn't put his arm up for the fair catch. You're there, you can time it right. You've got yourself a big hit, an opportunity to cause a loose ball, to cause a fumble. And then when he saw the catch was going to be made, tried to back off and couldn't.
Ron Withelder right there was going to take this ball all the way. He was looking for a return. No fair catch signal given.
And that is the interference call. It's the interference with the ability to make a catch. You've got to give him a couple-yard cushion, and right there you can see he doesn't give it to him.
Yeah, and he may claim that he was getting blocked into him right there, but that really wasn't the case.
Well, there was some blocking going on, and at the last moment, Withelder had to step up to actually catch the football, so a little bit of a tight call.
Against Fordham, 5-yard penalty.
Apparently, this game, however, is not without some casualties, because it looks as though one of the Villanova cheerleaders is going off, not under her own power, but she seems to be laughing and joking, so we're going to assume she's just fine.
I think she just wants to ride on a golf cart, Scott.
Maybe she's not laughing that hard. On 1st down for the 28-yard line for the Villanova Wildcats. Once again, Clint Park, who's having a pretty good day. Rolling left, throwing, got a man. That's Kavanaugh, his tight end, out to the 35 for for a pickup of 7.
Joe Cavanaugh, not really a prime receiver of Clint Park, but the players tell me that this is a very improved player. He's growing into his body, very good blocker, good hands, and is going to be a heck of a target here for Clint Park as the season goes on.
Cavanaugh's got a brother that played at Cal Davis. Now, the last big-time NFL player that was produced there is a guy you played with, I believe.
Ken O'Brien?
That is correct. We'll have another quiz coming up for you in the third. On second down, when 3 yards left, the ball at the 39. Off the toss, here comes Galemi. With first down yardage, puts the head down, drops the shoulder, and gets it out across the 40 to about the 41-yard line. It's one of the things that you love to see if you're coaching running backs is guys who are willing to try to dish out the punishment at the end of the run so they don't have to absorb the entire of the hit.
Well, the players think that he's just a tough runner. He's a tough kid. He knows where to go to get the yards. And really, Villanova's strength of this offensive team, I think, is the offensive line. A lot of fifth-year seniors, a lot of these guys are redshirted as freshmen. And Kevin McCarty, good speed, really good in the open field. They like to pull him.
That's 8 tough yards for Galemi and the 1 touchdown. He's the lone setback again. On 1st and 10, big blitz coming, and a good rush for Baumgartner, who hits Park as he throws it. He threw it away, but check this one out as we come back to the replay here, because Baumgartner came around the end and was obviously inspired by the Atlanta games. He hurdled over the blocker.
Yeah, we'll see it coming from the left side right here. Oh, my. That's a highlight film type play right there. Right now, C.J. Lee's in at left tackle for Mitch McCrimmon on that particular play in this series.
Baumgartner, pretty good athlete out of South Fork. That's not where they shot Dallas. It's South Fork, Pennsylvania. On 2nd down and 10. Park off play action, and he does it well. Got his man, that's Finneran. Finneran can't elude the tackle, however, if Gabe Garcia was right in his back pocket. He'll say forward progress took him out to the 44-yard line, so still a bit to go for Villanova on 3rd down coming.
And that's tough on the defensive lineman, Scott, when a quarterback is really roaming out of the pocket like this right here. It's a long ways for him to chase. And Clint, like we talked about here today and last week, very accurate on the run, very comfortable throwing the ball like this. Good play action into the line to Galemi. And they do a good job of sealing the line of scrimmage on the corner so he can step up and throw that ball.
Call it 3rd and 8 now for the Wildcats. Nose of the football on the 44. Signs of Butcher comes through the middle. Park throws, got Finneran first down, Fordham territory. And Finneran did a great job there of coming short across the middle and giving his quarterback a target to throw to against a blitz.
Well, we saw Dave Clausen talking to Brian Finneran early in the first quarter on those underneath routes. And there, I mean, it was just a clinic, Scott. They blitzed the 2 inside linebackers and really gave a lot of room for Finneran right here to find the open space. And boy, this is a good lethal combination between these two. And like we've talked about with Brian, a lot of yards after the catch.
And at 6'5", he also presents a nice-sized target across the middle. You can certainly see him. Those 5 catches on the day and a touchdown. On 1st down, 2:43 left in the half. Park looking deeper for Finneran. Got him, and he held on. Big hit from Darrell White across the middle down at the 25-yard line. Forward progress to the 24. But Finneran with some good hands and the ability to take a hit.
Yeah, and here Clint Park is, nice solid wall up front. C.J. Lee's doing a nice job at left tackle, giving him some time. And Brian Finneran knows he's going to get hit on this play. Darrell White drops his shoulder into him. And when you look at Brian, you're looking at a tall drink of water, tall and lanky kid, but can take a hit here, Scott, as Darrell White bounces off of Brian and hangs on to the ball.
Looked like a Jack Tatum hit there. He used to wear number 31, too.
Same number, Scott.
Yep, early on in his career. Now Park for Finneran again, and he's got him. Trying to avoid a tackle and drives his way down near the 5-yard line. Another Villanova first down. Once again in the red zone, and another opportunity for a score before halftime.
Well, just dial up number 25 coming across from the slot position. And all Clint has to do is really just wait for him to uncover coming underneath, because he's going to be open at some point with all the zone defenses that Fordham is playing.
You see the 14 out of 20, you're going to hit 70% of your passes when you're throwing them like this. And when you're finding guys like Finneran who's trying to make something happen after the catch. 1st and goal, ball just outside the 5. Park wants to throw. Here's the little swing. Galemi wants to find some room, heading toward the end zone, and just comes up short of it. Knocked out of bounds by Pieracini. They're going to spot the football at the 1 with 2nd down and goal coming.
Also coming up short is Tim Baumgartner, the outside linebacker, as he gets nothing but air, as there's a terrific move put on by Galemi right here in the open field. You'll see Bumgarner grabbed nothing but air on this play.
Now Galemi, as you see, is going to juke to the inside. Baumgartner bites, and that's that. So here you go on 2nd down and goal from the 1-yard line. Villanova already up 28.
Dial number 40 here, Anthony Causette should get this ball.
Deep back in the eye. He's got the ball. He's diving into the end zone for a touchdown. Nice call, Coach. 34-0 now. Villanova on top with still 99 seconds left until the halftime break. Now there's the same guys who were saying they were number 1 last week, also on the sideline saying we deserve to move up. They're doing exactly what a ranked team is supposed to do against an unranked team. They're basically putting a hurting on them.
Yeah, they're impressive right now. They're really executing very well, Scott. They're able to do really whatever it is that they want to do in the playbook, and they're getting the job done right here. They're rolling up things here pretty quickly. After a kind of a rough, rocky start, they're really taking care of business.
Mark Kiefer to try the point, and that's perfect, right down the middle. This one, however, misses the camera location and crashes into the snack bar. Those are some cheerleaders that can yell. 9 plays, 72 yards. Anthony Causette, the 1-yard touchdown run to cap it off. His 2nd score of the game. And Villanova is up 35 right now. Now, you've been on the other side of these kinds of things. If you're Nick Cartaro, first of all, we'll talk about this, then we'll talk about what he's going to say at halftime.
Well, Causette last week was the lead blocker in a number of touchdowns. This week he gets it there and going for a 2nd touchdown run.
Cartaro now has his team down 35 points, sends him out there for this last offensive series, more than likely the half. We told you, by the way, that the football landed on top of the snack bar. I wasn't kidding. It's up there on the roof. At any rate, Cartaro's going to take his team into the dressing room at halftime. What do you say down 35-0 in another team's park?
You know, what you got to do right now is you really don't want to get this thing too much further out of hand. It's already tough. They've really beat themselves in a number of different areas, Scott. They don't want to see anybody quit, Scott. They want to find out what this team is made of. They want an opportunity to put some fight, put some points on the board, make this thing salvageable in some way.
And once again, it's going to be return time for the local product. Just getting out across the 20 is Larry Leaf. But it will be, once again, Fordham football with $1:35 to go till the break. Tackle for Villanova, as you can see, made by Ed Diaz, the backup fullback. He's already thrown one crushing block here today and led the way on Anthony Causette's touchdown run 1 moment ago.
Well, what you've seen here, Scott, today is just a difference in physical talent, as Villanova is just so much bigger, so much more physical and deeper than the Fordham Rams.
On 1st down and 10 from just outside the 21. Sosik off the pitch, finds Robinson, and he finds the turf back at the 19-yard line for a loss of 2.
And talking about a team that is just more physical here, Nate McIntyre, the defensive end, really takes Bart Grayson, the left tackle, deep into the backfield, drives him right back into the running back. Very little room for the back to turn up.
2nd down and 12.
2nd down now and 12 yards to go. Clock still ticking as Sosik comes in with the play from the sideline. As we told you, a guy who sprained his knee in the opener, trying to come back and shake off the rust, and the Villanova defense has done a good job of making sure that he hasn't so far. And we got another motion call coming against Bart Grayson. That's off on the left side of the line. The 4th penalty against Fordham. All of them have come for motion, and this time he was anticipating the rush of Nate McIntyre.
Yeah, it's just the left tackle right here. Bart has done this a couple of times today, and coaches can't stand this because that's just a lack of concentration. And when you're talking about a route, what a coach wants to see from the players, Bart's going to be replaced right now as the coach is tired of him jumping off sides right now. He's going to get a little talking to.
Freshman Jason Rossi is now coming at that left tackle position out of Agawam, Massachusetts. On 2nd down, about 17 to go. And a run through the middle for Robinson, who dives ahead near the 20. Down at the bottom of that pile was Curtis Dunaway in on the tackle, kind of bicycling his legs down on the turf, and it looks as though Curtis Dunaway, the senior co-captain, is down. You can see the Fordham penalty situation. All of them have come from motion on 6 for 30 yards. But on the field, Curtis Dunaway is down on the turf being attended to by the medical staff. And it sounds cliched, Brian, but the one thing you don't want if you're Andy Talley in a 35-0 game is watching a guy who's a defensive anchor who is going down. So we'll talk about that when we come back. We've got 32 seconds to go till the break. The man down on the field, we're going to take a break as well. Villanova 35 and Fordham 0. Now the injured player, Curtis Dunaway, is coming off onto his own power. Kind of a little slow to walk over to the sideline, but he looks as though he is okay. And I would imagine Andy Talley right there getting a little bit of a scare. We may not see too many of the starters early on in the second half if Villanova is still sitting on top of a 35-point lead. As it is now 22 seconds to go till halftime, and that's Sosek down under center. Has a little time this time as he rolls, but now it collapses on him, and wow! Nate McIntyre throws him down to the ground inside the 5-yard line.
I tell you, Nate McIntyre is really playing a whale of a game. Almost blocked a punt earlier today. Just totally destroyed the first down play of this series as he just was so much more physical than the left tackle. Here he is. Nate McIntyre likes to play the strong side defensive end. And this is just a ragdoll effort right there, throwing down Sosek to the ground.
Now, a champion wrestler in his high school days back in Canton, Ohio. I guess that's points for a takedown as we end the first half of play. Villanova completely in command as they walk off with a 35-0 lead. And we're going to be back with more at halftime. Scott Graham and Brian Baldinger right after this. Our halftime score, Villanova over Fordham, 35-0. The Wildcats have had things entirely their way in the first half of play. Let's take it down to the field right now where Ken Henderson is standing by with a special guest.
Thank you, fellas. I'm here with Tim Hovert, the Associate Athletic Director here at Villanova. And Tim, you've been here for 3 years, and when you came in, you just started to work right away.
That's right. It's been an exciting 3 years for us here. We made the transition. Gene, our athletic director, came from the University of Kentucky, where he held my position there, and it's been kind of neat, kind of assessing the situation here at Villanova and being able to do some things that have really had a positive impact on our program.
You've revamped a lot, but especially the corporate sponsorship program. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, it's been a major transition for us. When we first came here, we spent the first 6 to 8 weeks just kind of assessing where Villanova was positioned and started to develop some goals on where we saw the program going. And part of that transition involved bringing the television and radio and all of the corporate sponsorship marketing opportunities in-house. And what we've done is we've grown from a corporate base where we came here about 3 years ago. We had about 8 or 10 corporate sponsors. That sponsor base has grown to about 100. We've got 100 major corporate sponsors that are involved with us. And basically what we do is we sell the inventory. We sell the commercial inventory on our coaches shows and our radio shows and the signage in our arenas and title sponsorships to events and things like that. So it's been a very positive experience for us.
Now you're in charge of licensing. One of the first things you did was come out with a new logo. How did that come about?
Well, we worked with a group called Sean Michael Edwards out of New York, and they've been involved on a national level with professional properties, giving those professional properties an image that they can go out and sell. And basically what we wanted to do when we came here is to get us something that was dynamic, something that would be appealing to kids, and we went to them for their expertise, and they designed a logo that really appeals to the demographic group that we're trying to attract. And over a very short period of time, the sale of Villanova licensed paraphernalia has just soared. We've had an increase of over 500% in the last 2.5 years. And that's another way that we can gain the type of exposure we wanted. There's also some other ancillary benefits from that.
Now you've been able to get your revenue up to $10 million. How did you do that?
Well, it's been an interesting transition. So far, over the last 3 years, we've had contracted revenue very close to $10 million. And it's a very holistic approach because we have so many different marketing opportunities that we can offer the corporate community, and it's trying to understand their needs and then trying to figure out what we can do in order to create the association that's a win-win situation. So it's selling a lot of inventory, it's selling a lot of signage, it's selling a lot of title sponsorships, but even more than that, it's trying to understand what the corporate community is trying to accomplish by using Villanova and our rich tradition here to their advantage.
Now, efforts like in the first half can't hurt.
That's exactly right. And having you here, having the Comcast network here broadcasting these games is very important to us because it creates the type of exposure. It keeps us in front of a great deal of people that we're trying to communicate with, and it's things like that in the overall scope of things are really important to us.
Now, Tim's also the person in charge of all the tickets. December 14th, the first college game at the Spectrum, Villanova and Duke. Who do I call for tickets?
I'll tell you what, I'm not sure who you're calling on that one. That's going to be a tough ticket to get, but it's going to be an exciting year basketball-wise as well, and we're all looking forward to it.
All right, thanks for joining us.
Ken, thank you.
Back upstairs.
Tim Hufford, of course, has been a very large portion of the efforts here at Villanova to try to turn things around. And as he told you about, it was 2.5 years ago that they redesigned the logo from the rather nondescript Wildcat to the angry and aggressive one. Well, they were pretty angry and aggressive in the first half as Villanova leads it by 35. We'll be back in just a moment. 35-0 our halftime score. Scott Graham and Brian Baldinger back as Villanova leads Fordham by the 35-0 count. After a tough start to the game, Villanova did get on the scoreboard with Todd Galemi's 1-yard touchdown drive for a 7-0 lead. And after that, it came like machine gun fire, kind of early and often in the second half. First, Park up top found Finneran crossing across the end zone. That was one through the air. Then back the other way, Sifford on the ground with some hard running and dropping the shoulder for the next Villanova touchdown. Next score after that comes on a short pass to Anthony Calcett. Calcett would get the next touchdown after Galemi set it up with this catch and run down to the 1-yard line for Calcett's dive over the top. And a 35-0 Villanova lead here at halftime. The Wildcats putting on a show, and Clint Park there talking on the sideline. It's here on Parents Weekend, so a lot of the players are having their parents here in the stands to watch what's going on, and it couldn't be going a whole lot better for Andy Talley and the Villanova Wildcats as they have completely dominated this game, Brian. If you look at the total yardage numbers, total yards 323 to 82. Look at the disparity in passing at 206 to 44. 13 first downs to 3, and maybe an even bigger number at the bottom. Villanova has yet to be penalized today.
And, you know, this is going against a Patriot League team right here. This is the last non-conference game they have, Scott. Probably the last opportunity where they're going to be able to run up a score like this. They're going to start seeing teams the rest of the schedule that are more equitable in talent and physical play.
Now, on the other side of the ball, if you're Fordham, you've come in with losses to both Maine and Lehigh. You came in today knowing you were going to be a pretty heavy underdog against the number 18 team in the country. What is it that Nick Hurtaro's team is trying to get accomplished here in the second half?
I think what they want to do is they really want to show some fight in the second half. They want to show great effort. They realize that they're up against a much better opponent right now, but this will be their last Division I AA opponent here in the Yankee Conference, and I think they want to be able to tell the kids that, look, this is going to be the best that you're going to see. Measure yourself up here in the second half. Compete hard, and the rest of the way this year, this will be a benefactor, I think, down the road as they start playing some of the Patriot League teams.
And they also next week play an Ivy League team, a home game against Columbia in a battle of New York City teams. A great opportunity there for the Fordham Rams to get that first opportunity to win one of the year. They'll be dropping back deep to take yet another kickoff as they did frequently in that first half. That's Larry Leith up on the top portion of the screen. And also back for the Fordham Rams is Brian Mistretta. Tink going to kick it away in the second half underway with Villanova sitting on a commanding 35-0 advantage. This is Leith up that far sideline. Nice little move there out at the 25 and some room. Out to the 40 and close to the 45-yard line. The kicker had to get him out of bounds to prevent it from being a bigger return, but a flag down on the play inside the 20, and the local kid with a big return might see it called back.
Yeah, I think there might be a clipping penalty against Jay Stapoli here, number 84. You'll come right there. I think he got clipped on the play, and I think that's where the flag comes out.
Well, if that is the hit, it's, I believe, on Bill Tierney on the return. You can see Tink there lowering the shoulder to try to get him out of bounds. But as the play develops, the clip is going to come on the right side of your screen. But now it's going to come right in front of you. There it is, flying through the screen, and that's going to be the illegal block. So a fine return from Larry Leith is going to be knocked back to the 9-yard line. And Fordham once again starting in awful field position with their first drive here in the second half.
And many of Fordham's problems today can be attributed to the bad field position that they've had. Your offensive playbook is really cut down tremendously when you have to start drives like this one inside the 10-yard line.
We've also got ourselves a quarterback switch. Dan Medine, who had played in the last game, the backup, while Kevin Sosek was hurt, is going to start here in the second half. His team down by 35 as he rolls out on his first play from scrimmage. And that little dump-off pass is there for the tight end. Out to about the 18-yard line is Mike Georgevich, a transfer from Scottsdale Community College. He's going to get a pickup of almost 9 yards on the play.
I think the change right here is partly because Kevin Sosek was taking a real pounding in the first half, but Medine has shown a nice arm. He was the New Jersey High School Football Player of the Year just 2 years ago. He's got a live arm. He is an athletic guy. He's thrown for over 350 yards in just a little over a game and a half this year.
Now his problem has been interceptions, just 1 touchdown and 4 interceptions for Dan Bedine. And his team now at 2nd down and a long yard to go. Quick back pedal, avoiding some rush, and now he can run with it. If he can get around it, he's got a first. He does, and skips out of bounds just past the 24-yard line for a Fordham first down. So some mobility for sophomore quarterback Dan Bedine, and he buys Fordham something there were precious few of in the first half. They only had 3 first downs in the first half. They get one on their first possession here in the second half.
Yeah, there's some pressure up front, but Bedine showing some elusiveness here. Get some experience here the last week and a half now. I mean, I think he's probably a little bit comfortable right here. He doesn't find his first 2 receivers, just pulls it down, does a nice job of avoiding Nate McIntyre, who really slammed Kevin Sosek down to the ground on the first half ending.
Experience is the key. He did not play in a varsity game in his freshman year last year. Now the throw out to the outside to see if they can free up James Simmons. Makes the catch but gets hemmed in up at around the 27-yard line after a short 2-yard pickup. Once again, they were trying to get the ball out to the speedster to let him run with it a little bit, but the Villanova linebacking core wasn't letting that through.
And out there at linebacker now in place of Curtis Dunaway, who was shaken up at the end of the first half, is number 45, Aaron Weems, and he does a nice job of sniffing out that play.
The backup there is normally Jess Sadowski, but as we told you, the torn ACL has him on the sidelines with crutches. He is gone for the rest of the year, hurt last week against Delaware. They charitably gave him 3 yards on that catch, so 2nd and 7. And the ball tipped at the line of scrimmage, and the guy you were just talking about comes in and gets a hand on it. Aaron Weems, the freshman, with the knockdown.
Yeah, he comes on the blitz from the outside right here. McAvina comes inside, and Weems comes to the outside. Actually, a nice job on the play by the right tackle, Andrew Green, holding off McAvina, but Weems comes free, gets a hand on the ball right in the passing lane.
So it'll be a 3rd down and 7 situation now. You can see Weems there. As we told you, a freshman seeing some playing time now out of Avon Lake, Ohio. That is Avon Lake, by the way, and not Avon Lake. On 3rd and 7. A little bit of a switch up at the line of scrimmage for Bedine. Some movement on the line of scrimmage. Looks like there's a trouble with the snap and a flag down on the play. Basically a mess as the play gets dropped inside the 25-yard line. There was movement, there was a flag, and I believe the penalty's on Villanova.
And the penalty is going to be on number 70, George Freiberger, the right defensive tackle in this play. As on the change of cadence from a different quarterback, George jumps as a result, gets into the neutral zone, and the penalty is going to be on George right here.
Good call by the officials as the center got rid of the ball, and I think the center actually made the snap. Corey Bailey did because he saw the man in the neutral zone, which is why they had trouble with the handle.
Corey Bailey, a preseason All-Patriot League candidate at center. Just a good, smart, savvy play by the junior center.
You love seeing those line guys play well.
I like seeing them play well, and I like seeing them make smart plays like that. Of course, Dan Bedine, who may not have expected that ball, your fingers can get crunched a little bit sometimes.
So it'll be 3rd down now and about 3 yards to go for Fordham. Make it 2. The ball resting outside the 38. Nelson in motion. Here they work off play action again. Bedine throws and sails it over everyone's head. Going to be tough enough to catch that ball if you were of average size, but James Simmons is only 5'6". He would have had to have gone way up the ladder to get that one. The Fordham drive stalls, and once again they'll call on Barry Cantrell to punt for the 7th time today.
The leg's got to start getting tired by this time. Comes into the game's 2nd leading punter in the nation, almost 48 yards a punt. Getting a heck of a workout here this afternoon.
Now he's been dropped down a little bit today with a first half average of 39.6. Back deep is Ron Withelder, as you see, to take the kick, and the ball's blocked. It's on the ground. Turner's got a free lane. If he can pick it up, he's going to score. Diving on top of it, the ball's still in the end zone. Who's got it? Looks as though Villanova may have gotten it, and they did. Touchdown. Turner comes out of the pack with a football after blocking the punt. Some trouble with the handle, but the big play produces another Villanova score.
We've seen bad protection on this team by Fordham all afternoon. Admiral Turner almost picked one off his foot in the first quarter today. This one, nice job of knowing where the ball is going to be. He takes it right off of his foot. Notice he doesn't go after the man. He goes where the ball is going to be. Nice job right here coming from the outside, and he times this just right.
Now the ball on the ground. Turner just couldn't get his hands on it. Then it was still free, and finally Turner snuck in there and yanked it away from everybody. He said, hey, I blocked it. I want the touchdown. Now Tink is on to attempt the extra point. This is his first extra point try. It's normally Kiefer that does these duties. Tink's kick is up, and it is good. We've got ourselves a 42-0 game. Audible Turner, the sophomore from Gardena, California, coming up with a big play, stretch it out for the punt block. And then, hell, I guess at that point you're thinking, I've got to pick this ball up and be able to run into the end zone with it. As you can see, he had a little trouble with the handle. You can see the wheels turning, saying, I got to pick this up.
Yeah, he comes right off the left side right here. And right now the ball is just free. I mean, he wants to go make a play. This is the guy that, as a cornerback, has great break on the ball, reacts very, very well. I think if he would have not picked this ball up for the touchdown right here, I think he would have been very disappointed in himself not coming up that play. But what we've seen here, Scott, is great opportunities by Villanova created on the turnovers.
Now, Audible Turner is the oldest of 8 children. Do you think he learned that ability to go in and get something among a pile of people from his family life?
That was just a chicken wing he was going after, just fighting over scraps, Scott.
I mean, that's the toy that got thrown out in the middle of the living room floor, and he came out of the middle of it, the oldest of 8. Anyway, he gets a touchdown here, and you got a 42-0 game with Villanova on top. They've done it offensively, and now the special teams creates a touchdown as Tink gets the kick away. And this is not going to be returned. Kind of wisely sitting down on one knee is Mistretta in the end zone, and Fordham's got it 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for the Rams, down by 42.
Scott, you don't see many return men 1 yard deep in the end zone, down 42 points, not try to bring that ball out.
So the timeout on the field, we're going to take 1-2, 12:38 to go in the third. It's all Nova, 42-0. Fordham Rams 1st and 10 from their own 20, the tight end Nelson in motion. And this is Shaw, who had a big run on a draw play in the first half, taken down at about the 25-yard line after a gain of about 5 yards. Ken Henderson is standing by field side. Ken?
Thanks, Scott. You know, you guys were mentioning Aaron Weems in there at linebacker. Now, Aaron came out of Avon Lakes, Ohio, but when he came to Villanova, he was a linebacker. They put him at the fullback position because of all the depth they had at linebacker. Well, last week, Zadowski went out, so they transferred him back to his normal position, and with the score like it is, he's getting a chance to see some action.
Thank you, Ken, and the Avon controversy lives on 2nd down and 5 from the 25-yard line. Once again, Medine under center off play action. He's getting rushed. Good job getting out of the way of the pass rush. Still wants to throw and does. Late over the middle and behind Nelson. An incomplete pass. The tight end out of Sayville, New York, couldn't come back, put on the brakes, and reach back to catch the football.
And number 75, Jason Tenner, puts great pressure on Medine here as he comes free. Of course, it was Jason Tenner that started this turnaround here today by stripping a ball in the first quarter, creating a fumble. Medine shows a lot of elusiveness in the pocket, just staying alive here, trying to make a play. Just throws a little bit of behind his receiver, John Nelson here.
And you can see Bork helping out there as he slid Tenner up the field of play as Medine made his escape. On 3rd down now, the back pedal drop. In some traffic throws, got his man. Now here comes the tough part, 1st down. Nice looking move coming back to the middle of the field for Dave Skoblick. The junior out of Scranton gets a Fordham 1st down.
And we see some changes right now, Scott, in the Villanova's defense. They've got the backup linebackers in, Sean Lyons, Stephen Curry, Aaron Weems, all getting some playing time.
But Al Bowden, as you can see there, warming up on the sidelines. Looks as though we'll have a quarterback switch when Villanova gets the football back again. As we kind of accurately predicted, Andy Talley, with this game firmly in hand, does not want to see any of his starters go down. They got themselves a very nice break next week with a week off. As you can see, the catch and run for the 1st down before Villanova will play at Connecticut on the 5th of October. However, the 1st down is going to be nullified by a penalty, kind of a late flag being thrown, and the call coming against Fordham. It's going to back them up to the 24-yard line. So instead of a 1st down, now they're going to be sitting down on top of a 3rd down and about 6 yards to go.
Ball spotted at the Fordham 23.
Just outside the 23, just shy of the 24, and Nick Cartaro says we finally get ourselves a nice play and a 1st down, and look what happens. Fordham has been penalized a bit today. That should read 3rd down and 7 yards to go. Scoreboard is not correct. Now they've changed it. Medine rolling right. In some trouble. With a lane, he could run it. He will. Cross the 30 for the 1st down. Good mobility out of the sophomore as he gets the 1st down back anyway for the Fordham Rams.
Gain of 9 to
Sean Lyons makes the play right here, stops Medine, but we're seeing some pretty good feet here and some pretty good elusiveness, good speed, and knows where the 1st down marker is, Scott, and that's what you look for especially with the young quarterback, knowing how far he's got to go in order to get that marker changed.
And once again, Weems making his presence felt, comes across and makes the ankle tackle to stop him, but not before that first down, with the ball outside the 32-yard line now for Fordham. Still scoreless on the day. Off a bit of a Statue of Liberty type play, the give is to Shaw. He's going to pound his way up to about the 34-yard line for a pickup of 1.5 yards, maybe 2.
We saw Shaw with the big run over 40 yards in the first quarter off of that draw type action. They came back to the well. They haven't really made much money off that play the last couple times they tried to run it.
As you can see, 7 carries for 71 yards for Shaw, but one of them was on one big burst up the middle of the field. As he gets brought down from behind. That big burst up the middle of the field set up Fordham's best scoring opportunity of the day, but a chip shot 22-yard field goal for Mark Ruoff was pushed to the right side, which is why Fordham's still scoreless. Make it 2nd and 8. Straight back to throw once again is Medine, setting up the screen for Shaw. Got some blockers. Trying to hurdle again, and wow. Helmet on helmet, pad on pad. Good afternoon, sir. Nice to see you. Stephen Curry, the freshman, comes up to make the stick.
Stephen Curry comes up and makes a whale of a blow right here as the running back tries to actually go airborne right here, trying to gain a few extra yards. They're just running a simple screen to the right here. The offensive linemen do a nice job of setting it up, getting a couple bodies out front. But if you want to find a way to break up a screen, that's the best way to do it, is just to come right through the interference.
That's trying to put the helmet right down under the guy's chin strap if you can do it. And boom, that's exactly what he did. So you got 3rd down, 3 yards to go, triplet receivers up to the top of your screen. Could be a blitz coming here for Nova. Sean Lyon steps in and then backs out. Fake of a blitz, and now here it comes. Medine's throw is caught. Ball is dropped. Now the question is it a fumble? Because if it is, Nova's got it, and they do. Sean Goodrich picks it up off the turf as it was laid down by Chris Aferio.
Chris Aferio comes across. I think he's looking for that first down marker, which was about 3.5 yards, and he takes his eyes off of where he was going, I think, to take a look at the marker. And at that time, he just drops the ball right here. I don't think he gets stripped at all. He has the first down, and he's looking at the defender there as he juggles the ball and doesn't tuck it away.
Heads up play by sophomore Sean Goodrich to come up with the ball. So now Villanova going with the new quarterback as it 1st and 10 starting in Fordham territory. And off the fake, there's the throw. Nice catch made, and some good yardage after the catch by freshman tight end Joe Kavanaugh. The redshirt freshman hauling in the Chris Bowden pass. That's going to get it down to the 35. Now let's go back a couple of moments ago to find out. Well, first you got Bowden, who's going to be faking out one way and then flipping back the other way. And a tight end they don't use much, shows some good hands.
Yeah, he finds his target, Joe Kavanaugh, right here on the play-action fake. Comes out throwing right away. Here's the fumble on the play. Really, Aferio just drops the ball. He has the first down, but he looks at the defender. He's a little intimidated by it, and the ball comes out.
So 2nd down and 2 now after a pickup of 8 yards. Chris Bowden, the freshman out of Capistrano Beach, California, in now at quarterback. And through the middle, Sifford going to try to kick it back outside again, goes back inside, looks like a pinball in a pinball machine. But works his way down to the 31-yard line for a pickup of 4 and another Nova first down. Now Bowden is a guy who has seen a little time this year in the blowout victory against UMass, went 9 for 11 for 118 yards. And 1 touchdown. Here's a guy who threw for 2,592 yards and 22 touchdowns as a senior in high school. That's a heck of a senior year.
That'll get you some attention.
It did, and that's why he's here. Bowden down under center now on 1st and 10 from the 31. They're still throwing the ball. Left all the way. And nice catch made. Getting the 1 foot down that was necessary, and probably then some, was Josh Dolman. Villanova's knocking on the Fordham door again at the 11-yard line.
And Chris Bowden hasn't missed a beat since he replaced Clint Park to start the series. He's taking a snap from the new center, Craig Sheary here, the sophomore. And no mistakes right there, but Josh Dolman, nice job just stretching out and being able to get that 1 foot inbounds necessary in college football.
I said 1 and then some. It wasn't then some. It was just the 1, but that was enough. So 42-0, and Villanova looking for more. The 1st and 10 at the Fordham 11-yard line. Bowden turns. That's a pitch for Sifford. Straight up the field, puts the shoulder down and scores. the second time he's done that today. Curtis Sifford with some hard running off toward the sideline has made this a 48-0 game.
And Scott, there's only 2 starting offensive linemen left in the game right now. One of them, left guard Chris Acano, and really Sifford just follows him here as he pulls around the left side and leads the way for the march into the end zone.
So 48-0 the score now, and once again it is going to be extra point time, and once again it's going to be Randy Tink, the freshman, who's going to get a chance to do that.
Randy Tink on for the extra point.
Also, you've got a new holder into the game now that Clint Park has taken the rest of the afternoon off. Michael Rusnak, a junior quarterback who acts as a holder in these situations, although they haven't had too many of them. Steps up to try to hold for the 49th point, and there it is, right through. 7:45 to go in the third quarter, and Villanova is pouring it on Fordham, leading this one by a score of 49-0.
And what's impressive, I think, right there, Scott, is, Chris Bowden comes in as the backup quarterback. They have a backup offensive lineman in there right now, and Curtis Seifert really runs the ball just as well as he did with the starters in there. That's Matt McKnight, the big left tackle right there, leading the way also against Mike Shelley, taking him all the way into the end zone. The effort is still there as the 49th point gets pointed up on the board here. Just a terrific job downfield. You'll see Chris O'Connell coming into screen 63 and Matt McKnight. Both these guys doing a great job washing their men into the end zone.
I thought you told me those Massapequa guys were tough. He got turned around and ridden all the way into the end zone.
Let me tell you, when it's 49-0 sometimes, Scott, you're looking for that trip back to Massapequa a little earlier than this game is going to allow.
Ford plays 43 yards, and the freshman quarterback comes on to lead his first scoring drive of the day. 7 touchdowns on the day, 6 for the offense, 1 for the special team. Nova by 49. And now another return opportunity for Fordham, and Mistretta is going to come up the left side. And Galemi comes up, a guy who is a backup running back, plays hard on special teams as well. Even at 49-0, his intensity's still there.
Well, Andy Talley loves to see that right now. I was talking to Coach Venuto, the wide receiver coach, at halftime, and he was concerned that there might be some kind of a letdown in the second half where guys wouldn't go or play as hard. And when that happens, Scott, usually you see injuries or something like that doesn't happen when the guys are playing real hard.
This is the other backup quarterback, Dan Medine, and lots of changes on the Villanova defense for you. We'll get to them as they get involved in plays. Off play action, Medine in some trouble, steps up, he'll run, and he'll meet with 5 blue jerseys, a collision that he will remember tomorrow morning as he gets out to the 30-yard line after a pickup of 3.
And the one guy that hasn't been replaced is Nate McIntyre, the defensive end, who is trying to really probably put some statistics up today, as he already has 1 quarterback sack. He was going for a second one here, as he just really runs right by Andrew Green, the right tackle, and nearly is able to get a sack on his second quarterback today.
Now 3 different Villanova defenders converge at the quarterback. Slow to get up on the play was backup defensive lineman Mark Crook, but the redshirt freshman is apparently okay. After a pickup of 3, it's 2nd down and 7. Medine off the delay give, and nothing there for Andre Robinson, who's had a frustrating day today. First half had 8 carries for 2 net yards.
And that's Stephen Curry, the redshirt freshman, also taking over for David Heckard, the other freshman linebacker. And if you want to know how good organizations and good football teams stay good, Scott, it's because they're able to play young guys in blowout games like this. Get them some experience. You see Stephen Curry playing today. Andy Weems out there right now. A lot of young guys getting some experience.
A lot of the backups are in there right now. As you've got 3rd down now and 8 yards to go. Medine wants to throw. It's tipped, nearly caught. Nice effort by Ofirio, but he couldn't quite come up with it. And, well, probably the busiest man in the stadium, Barry Cantrell, is coming back out to once again punt the football away.
Pretty easy to really type their offense right now. It's been 3 plays and out nearly the entire game, Scott. And my man is getting some workouts out here today.
That he is. Just had his last effort blocked, and it went in for a touchdown as Audible Turner brought it in. This time a line drive kick, kind of a little bit of a twister. Delon Kelly is back to take that at the 25. Got some room and some blocks. And he's going to get hit and dragged down finally at about the 35-yard line. Some late flags coming in from the officials. We got a penalty coming.
Kelly returns to
some kind of roughing penalty at the end of the play, but I didn't really see what it would be. Looked like just a good short tackle on Kelly.
Now, the tackle was made by Rick Nalen, who brought him down. That may be a familiar name to you NFL fans. The personal foul is indeed against Fordham. So Villanova already in great position and with pretty good field position is going to get even better as they get 15 tacked onto this one. As you can see, some guys doing some piling on here as Nalen was bringing him down, threw him to the turf, and then there's your shove right there. And it's going to be a hand to the face. It's going to be delivered by Chris Lewis. That's your personal foul. And that's going to take the ball out just past the midfield stripe and into Fordham territory, shy of the 49.
And Nick Cortero just had a few words with his senior linebacker right there, Chris Lewis.
The reason I told you you'd recognize the name of Rick Nalen is his brother Tom, if you're an NFL fan, the starting center for the Denver Broncos. On 1st and 10, Nova, Galemi touches up in motion. And now this is Diaz getting some running time. Ed Diaz keeping the legs pumping forward as he gets down inside the 48-yard line, maybe the 47, for a pickup of a couple of yards on 1st down.
And the two other starting offense linemen that we mentioned that in the last run by Curtis Seifert for the touchdown are now been replaced. Paul DeGeorge right now is playing the left tackle position, or the left guard position, I should say. And also backing up at the left tackle position right now for Villanova is Jim Geezy, who's also a redshirt freshman.
Lots of guys out there on the field right now that are not at the top of the depth chart but are loving the opportunity to get a little playing time here today. The freshman Bowden with the eye behind him, as you can see. That's Diaz in motion. The pitch is for Galemi. Diaz with the lead block, but not a whole lot of corner to turn. Pretty good defensive play by Fordham, and sliding down the line of scrimmage was Jim Ciarlanti. He comes up with a hit for a loss. It's going to be 3rd down and long.
Paul DeGeorge, left guard right here, really kind of leading the way. Really the same play that they've just ran for a touchdown in the last series that we saw. And here it is, the left guard, left tackle, both pulling, leading some interference. But Ciarlanti does a nice job of smelling this play out, stretching it, and then using the sideline almost as another man to bring down the back.
Shane McAndrew also in on that tackle, a sophomore out of Lakewood, Ohio, produced by St. Ignatius. Always a big-time power in high school football in the U.S. Now the throw downfield is going to be incomplete. Went right through the hands for a moment. Looked like it would be a reception for James Hudzinski. However, he couldn't hang on to it at the 25-yard line.
No, but Bowden was very accurate, and they're running the same offense as if there was a starting offense in there. Chris Bowden rolling out to his right, sets his feet, really delivers a very accurate pass to James Hudzinski, and opportunity to bring that in, but a good play by the defensive back here to strip him as he's coming down with the ball.
I think Hudzinski may have felt Bill Tierney coming up to make that hit, and he did. Hudzinski could not hang on. So, in a rare occasion today for Villanova to actually punt the football away, that's what they will do. Back deep to take it, once again, is going to be Larry Leaf. End-over-end kick, he's already waving for the fair catch. It'll take it just inside the 15-yard line. That is where Fordham is going to take care of business. By the way, that punt was for Craig Meath, who is a redshirt freshman backup kicker. Mark Kiefer, who was the punter and the place kicker, has been sitting for a while now and continues to sit, and there you can see why. 49-0 Nova, and we've still got 4 minutes of this quarter plus another 15 left to play. So at some point or other, we're going to have to start delving into those great NFL locker room stories that you have. Of course, coming up next week at 8 o'clock here on the Comcast Network, take you up to Princeton, New Jersey for Holy Cross against Princeton. 1AA football next Saturday at 8 p.m. here on the Comcast Network. Off the roll now. This is Medine going to work. He's going to fire, floats the ball, and way over the head of his intended receiver. He was looking for Robert Davis down the left sideline, who was wide open, but Medine had trouble bringing the ball down to be catchable.
Wide open in the middle of the zone, though. Medine just has to settle down right here. I mean, make the play, move the chains, get a little bit of continuity, a little bit of movement here in the offense. It's been 3 plays now this entire third quarter right now. I think Nick Cortero would really like to see some offensive production. This is Villanova Wildcats' second-team defense in there right now. They should have some level of execution going.
Fordham with that 2nd and 10. You hearing bands playing in the background? It's because there's a lot to celebrate here if you're Villanova. And now a messed up exchange with the ball down on the carpet. Going to be reclaimed by Fordham, but they're going to lose yardage back to the 12-yard line. They're going to have a third down and long situation coming up now. It's, that does sound like mummers down there. It's, I believe, just a very small portion of the Villanova marching band, not the entire band. Yeah, there you go. You got a couple of saxophones, a couple of different size saxophones. It sounded very kind of mummer-esque.
It sounded that, and almost like some Dixieland jazz going, and the fans liked it. The biggest applause that we've heard here while Fordham has had the ball in quite a while.
Was not the mummers, however. The reason you can tell, no feathers, no booze. Third down, 12 yards to go.
No bad outfits.
Got to get it out to the 25-yard line, but Dine out of the shotgun. Plenty of time, and a throw and a catch. Across the 30-yard line with the ball is Kevin Furtura, the senior out of Akron. He's got enough for a Fordham first down on a nice-looking 18-yard pickup.
When that ball just left Medine's hands, I wouldn't have thought it was going to be completed. It looked like he floated that ball, but Furtura is sitting in the middle of the zone right here and just waits for the ball to come down.
18-yard pickup to the
actually throws a lot of nice touches. He's thrown over the linebackers and in front of the defensive backs.
That's one of those touch passes that you like to see out of your quarterback. He did plant that in there nicely, and Furtura had it right between the numbers for a first down.
And he had time because the offensive line did a nice job protecting him on that play.
So once again, Medine goes to work, wants to throw, and does. Got his man tight end across the 40-yard line to the 45. Upended there was Mike Georgevich. Ezekiel Lewis made the hit, but another 14-yard pickup and another Fordham first down.
Pass complete to Georgevich.
Georgevich, the backup tight end right here, just over the middle. Simple. It seems like maybe Medine might be finding some kind of a rhythm right here. 2 completions in a row for the first time all day.
He's a transfer, as we told you, from Scottsdale Community College. Played his high school ball in Chandler, Arizona. Now, when you live in Chandler, Arizona, which is a pretty nice place, kind of a beautiful desert place, why you would want to switch locales to the Bronx, New York is kind of beyond me.
He has a real bad golf game.
Like me. On first down, it's a give through the middle, across the 50-yard line. Good for nearly first down yardage, and a 9-yard pickup with the carry is John Carroll. He gets it down to the 44 for Fordham. They got second down coming up. Carroll's a big-looking back. A freshman at 5'8", 175, and probably carries a little bit more than that, and a Wyckoff, New Jersey.
It does look a little stockier than that. Scott, that was just a delayed draw right there. And you know, when it is 49-0, even Nick Quartero's got to give some other guys an opportunity to see what they can do here today.
So it is second down and 1. First time they've actually run the ball in quite a while. Out of a 2-back set right now. Carroll and Shaw are the backs, and Shaw's looking for the first down. Got it and more. Spinning off a couple of tackles with some nice-looking running. Down to the 37-yard line. He had a very impressive run on a draw play early in this one, and that was an even more impressive run as he just kept spinning off tackle after tackle.
Yeah, and he broke the tackle here of number 46, Brian Luxemburger, who has him wrapped up right there, but the legs are spinning. He's built low to the ground. He's got a nice power base right there. Keep the legs going.
Now you can see that Weems steps up, and he had his opportunity, but spun right off him. And look, even time to adjust the face mask. Yeah. So a first down for Fordham now, just outside the 36. On play action, Medine, all kinds of time, and throws, well, incomplete either to Carroll or to the young man who was standing on the sideline between the yard markers. It landed halfway between the two. It's a second down coming up.
And I don't know what his procession of who he's looking at receiver-wise, Scott, but open wide over the middle was wide receiver Joe Richardson, who was sitting down in his zone at about the 20-yard line. It would have been an easy completion, I think, if he had seen him.
And once again, one of the problems of the Fordham quarterbacks, both Medine and Sosik have had all day today, is sailing the football. And Matt, once again, just sailed right over the head of the wide receiver. Can't keep the ball down. On second down and 10 now. That is Dan Medine. Out of the shotgun. Big blitz coming. And they had a middle screen over the center coming in for Andre Robinson. But for the second time today, a running back never just really got his hands on the football.
No, it seemed like he kind of rushed that pass a little bit. He saw the blitz coming. One of the Finneran brothers.
That was Brad Finneran, I believe.
Brad and Joe Cavanaugh right here.
Cavanaugh's got, well, some ice there on that right hand, but he's smiling.
Oh, he doesn't feel any pain today, Scott.
Brad Finneran smiling too.
Ron Withelder.
And that as well as Ron Withelder, who's icing something up. But for the most part, these guys are doing just fine with a 49-0 lead. So 3rd down and 10 now for Fordham. Medine checks off at the line. Big blitz coming. It's a jailbreak, but they pick it up. So Medine throws, incomplete. Not bad defense on the play. Actually, a pretty good route. The ball been thrown a little bit lower. We say it again. Robert Davis would have had a nice completion.
And this time on the audible, Dan Medine, he holds the count just a little bit so that the running back can pick up the blitz that's coming. Whereas we saw Curtis Dunaway come a couple times free in the 1st and 2nd quarter to sack the quarterback. This gave Medine time to throw the ball. Barajas, nice job coming over the top to strip the ball away.
So on 4th down, nothing to do for Fordham but go for it. 1:01 left here in the 3rd and down 49. You got 4th down and 10. Medine once again likes to straight backpedal drop. Throws across the middle. Carroll's close to the 1st down marker. Depends on forward progress. They shove him back, but that far side official is going to be coming in to mark it. Is going to be the guy to watch here. And depending upon the spot of the football, it looks as though they may be about 6 to 10 inches shy. Once again, a specific hobby of mine. Depends on the spot of the football. I'm going to call him short.
And it's Ron Kelly that makes that tackle wrap up right there.
Of today's Parents Weekend
like
football game.
A little better spot than I thought that they were going to get.
Yeah, me too. As a matter of fact, they took it to in between the 26 and 27 yard line when initially the official was basically planted on the 27. Now hold by my guns.
Seat 32. Congratulations.
And there it is by that much. Youngsters and other folks alike see the difference of about 10 inches. And Villanova will take over on downs. Less than a minute to play here in the 3rd.
And you're going to see just a form tackle by DeLon Kelly right here as he sticks his head right in the numbers, right in the chest right there, and just continues to drive his legs. No forward progress in order to get that 1st down.
That's also a tough call by the official because right there at impact is the end of your forward progress, and you've got to have a pretty good beat on where that is running in from the sideline. 1st down and 10, Wildcats. They've got it back again. And now this is a give. Going to turn the corner, 25 and out across the 30-yard line. Carrying the football that time was Todd Kabelski, a junior fullback out of Tewksbury, Massachusetts.
Kabelski on the carry.
Now there you go. That's obviously a Finneran fan out there. It's Parents' Day. I'm wondering if that may be a relation, but the numbers of Brad and Brian Finneran respectively on Villanova buttons.
Good-looking Irish kid right there with the red hair.
Now how do you know that?
I've been to the motherland there of Ireland. I've seen an awful lot of children look just like that.
2nd down now coming. 7 yards to go.
Yes, sir.
Chris Bowden, the freshman, directing the team well as he's come on in relief here. And a straight give into the pile out to about the 32-yard line for a pickup of 1.5 yards as time winds down and out here in the 3rd quarter. So you've got 3 down and 1 to go before Villanova moves to 3-1 on the year, and for their part hopes to move up in the rankings. They put on an impressive showing so far, leading at 49-0. And we will be back with 4th quarter action in just a moment. Back here at Villanova Stadium, Scott Graham and Brian Baldinger. There you see the count of 49-0. The 28 second quarter points the difference. And Brian, you and I have now seen 7 quarters of football here the last couple of weeks. The Villanova defense has allowed nothing, make it 8 straight quarters for Nova of shutout football.
That's something really to be proud of right there, Scott. College football today, so many skilled players, so many opportunities, so many things that can break down. And to keep that bagel up there for 2 full games right now, it's been a very impressive showing. And you can bet that even though the backup defensive players are in there right now, they know in their mind that they want to get a 2nd straight shutout. Nothing will impress the national polls more than that type of effort.
Well, it hasn't been done here since 1964 when Villanova posted back-to-back shutouts against Detroit and Delaware by identical 34-0 scores. 1964 when Scott Graham was not even a twinkle in his parents' eye. On 3rd down now, Bowden going to work. Looking out left side and throws. It's incomplete. And Villanova's going to be forced to punt the football away as they come up short on the first play of the 4th quarter.
And Ed Diaz throws a crushing block to be able to free up Bowden here to get that ball off.
You saw briefly some of the 3rd quarter numbers. Villanova still basically dominating this game from more or less start to finish. They started a little bit slowly as Bowden comes off to the sideline now, and has a little conversation. Basically what they're doing is they're working at this point, working on a lot of different things, and working on Bowden's ability to mature as a quarterback. Craig Meath, once again, will do the punting detail. And his kick is kind of a twisting kick that it's just inside the 40, takes the Villanova roll, and checks up at about the 32-yard line. That's where the Fordham offensive unit will take it over. First down and 10 yards to go. As we said, the gun for Villanova is to try to post that second straight shutout. They dominated the first half of play, as we told you about. They have dominated here in the third quarter as well, and now into the fourth quarter, leading it by a score of 49-0. We'll be right back. First down and 10 yards to go for Fordham as they send the tight end in motion to begin this fourth quarter of play. And Medine looks out across the middle, got that tight end for a first down out to the 49-yard line. That's John Nelson, the former Penn State transfer. He was a much sought-after player in his high school days back in Sayville, New York, a top 100 recruit. Went to Penn State. This is his second year playing ball for Fordham.
And John Nelson just comes in motion on that play and finds an open seam. And really, when Dan Medine here has gotten time here today, he looks like he's pretty accurate. He'd thrown for over 350 yards, Scott, in the first two ball games, not playing all completions of those games either. So he's putting up some pretty good numbers.
On first down now from the 49-yard line. Medine going to give a second back through, doing a little bouncing around down there inside the 45-yard line and down to the 44.
Shaw carries.
Yeah, it looked like the ball carrier was Shaw, and he got knocked down to the 44-yard line. Second down and 4 coming up. There you go, through 3 quarters. Villanova totally dominant in the offensive yard department. They have it doubled up exactly. Fordham. Also look at the penalties, 9 for 63 for Fordham, and Villanova leading the rushing and passing statistics as well. They also have not turned the ball over yet. You've got second down and 4. Medine gives to Shaw, and Shaw says hello to Stephen Curry. The freshman has made a couple of hits like that today.
2 good freshman middle linebackers for this Wildcat defense. Stephen Curry taking over for David Heckert.
Ken Henderson is standing by down on the field with a special guest. Ken?
Thanks, Scott. I'm here with Jess Sadowski, linebacker, who last week tore his ACL in his knee. And it's been a rough week for you. Take us through the week.
Yeah, well, I guess got an MRI Tuesday morning and found out Wednesday night that it was just my ACL. And they thought there might be other knee damage, but that was it. So disappointing to be out for the year, but I don't know. You always have 2 years left, so get ready for them.
What's the prognosis like, and what are you going to be doing in the fall? Are you going to go for surgery?
Well, they say right now they have to get all the motion back in my knee, the swelling out. Then I guess for fall break, I'm going to have surgery, have it repaired, and then they say 6 to 9 months recovery time, rehab. So
I asked you before if it hurt. The answer was pretty simple.
Yeah, it hurts.
Guys, back upstairs, and just a little tidbit, Brian, I'm taking a little poll, and people put you right up there with Jerry Seinfeld, so I don't know what Scott's talking about.
Not even close, but thank you, Ken. We appreciate it from down there. You saw Shannon Gerlach break up a pass, and that means that now Fordham's punting again. They've gotten used to this formation today. That line drive kick is barreling through at the 5 and dribbles its way through the end zone, so Villanova will have it first down and 10 yards to go at the 20-yard line. They will have it when we come back. 12:48 left to go in a game that has been all Villanova Wildcats here at Villanova Stadium. First and 10, Villanova at their own 20-yard line. And they are sending a man in motion now, up 49. This is Diaz, the backup fullback, has seen some time here, snaking his way back to about the line of scrimmage and no more. Second down coming up. Let me ask you, what's the age difference between you and Jerry Seinfeld?
Jerry has got me by a couple of years, probably 2 years right now.
But you did go to high school at the same time. So you remember Jerry Seinfeld walking through the hallways of the high school.
He was just another geek in the school, Scott. He made his career afterwards. Paid his dues in the comedy circuit right there. Bouncing around from club to club, and a lucky break here or there. I think he dropped my name a few times, Scott, and it got him places. It got him in the door.
Isn't it sad when the geeky guys end up coming out on top later in life? Second down now at 10 yards to go. And through the middle, out to about the 23-yard line with the carry for Villanova is Todd Kabelski. So So third down and long coming up. Now, did Jerry sit around the cafeteria a lot talking with friends of his about just sort of heady things when he was in high school?
The geeks kind of held out with the other geeks, Scott. We didn't run into those kind of people. The other geek out of Massapequa, I got to drop another name here, Scott, Joey Buttafuoco. So I think people would compare me more to Joey than they would to Jerry.
You'll notice the silence on this end, right? Yeah, okay. Third down now, and 8 yards to go for Villanova from their own 22-yard line. Clock ticking with just under 11 and a half to go. Which means we're going to have more Massapequa trivia coming up. Down the middle, and the pass is incomplete. It was intended for Villanova's Tom Carolyn, a senior out of Hicksville, New York. And on the incomplete pass, now Nova will punt the football away, and Fordham will get it back for another opportunity to get on the scoreboard here today.
Jim Geezy having a little bit of trouble right here at the right tackle position. Just gives up way too much pressure inside to the defensive end, Rick Nayland right there. And gets pressure on Bowden, which we haven't seen very often here today, up until maybe really those first 2 drives early in the game where the Rams were able to find some pressure.
Meath now on for his third punt. Probably wasn't expecting to get too many of these today. That twisting kick going to hit, take a sideways bounce just this other side of midfield and be down by Villanova. So Fordham's going to get the football at the Wildcat 47-yard line to start this drive. Great field position and probably one of the better opportunities we'll see here in the second half for the Fordham team to get on the board. Gorgeous day to be sitting outside and enjoying a game here on Parents Weekend at Villanova Stadium. And if you're a Villanova football fan, as Brian has told you about, you've got a lot to be happy about. You've got the number 18 team in the country, their only losses against a Division I opponent, and the rest of the table, although it does have some roadblocks, does look very charitable for Villanova.
It does, Scott, and the fact that they're able to be so dominant here today will really make last week's victory stick. All of a sudden, it'll give it a lot more support as to who they beat and how they beat that Delaware team.
Medine with some time, throws, it was set up nicely, and Carroll dives ahead. Just shy of the 43-yard line for a pickup of 4 yards. Second down coming up for the Fordham Rams.
And that's the linebacker Mike Posque, who we haven't mentioned much today, but has been getting some time in there the last couple of series.
So second down on the way, and if you're a Fordham player now, you kind of bend over and you kind of look down and say, this has been a tremendously long afternoon. Fortunately, New York City is not that long a ride. Tough day for the coaching staff, tough day for the players. Medine ducks down. Now on the second down play, looking left all the way, kind of sails on him again, and it's knocked away. He once again had a receiver that was coming open. It was Robert Davis, but good defense on the play. Ezekiel Lewis came up to make the defense on the pass. Now, after a week off, it's 2 games on the road in New England for Villanova. Not either one of those should be a big-time challenge. Your big challenge probably going to be right back here again on October 19th against William and Mary.
And as they get ready really for the rest of the Yankee Conference schedule, they get a week off to kind of rest up, get some bodies healthy and healed, and get ready for really the belly of the schedule.
And right after that, good or bad, a game down at Richmond against the Spiders is never easy. Now there's your throw across the middle, and nice catch made by Georgevich as he carries Gerlach a bit down to the 35-yard line. Now you see the ball? It's been sailing all day long on both Fordham quarterbacks. Medine just got it too high up in the air, although he did get it over the top.
Yeah, the ball just is floating right now, and it's not a good spiral either. Neither quarterback has really put his feet in the ground and thrown the ball with authority, Scott, like I saw him kind of throw in the pregame warm-ups.
First down at the 35-yard line now for the Fordham Rams. Those twin receivers up to the top. That's the way that Medine is rolling. Pump once, and now the throw. He's got it for first down yardage down to the 20-yard line. And once again, a nice-looking throw from the sophomore as he found a man right in the middle. That's the target he's been looking for most of the half, Robert Davis.
Yeah, Robert Davis is a freshman, a speedy receiver. In past games, if he's been in the game, it's been a long fly route. Robert Davis falls down on his play, actually slips, and Medine has so much time here, he's able to wait for him to get back up and regain himself here, and finds himself right in the middle of the zone.
So now down to the 20-yard line with the exception of the missed field goal, the deepest penetration for Fordham all day with just over 9.5 left. A legitimate opportunity to score now. On first down, Medine, you can see him there audibilizing. Flips that mouthpiece back in. And here he comes back to throw. Across the middle, incomplete. And could have easily been picked off with one more step from Brian Barajas. Once again, the ball floated over the top of the head of Davis.
Yeah, and Davis was open on this play too here. Medine has time. The running back does a nice job picking up a blitzing linebacker. He just needs to step up in his pocket, throw the ball with some authority here.
There you see Brian Barajas, the senior, a backup, a 10-game starter last year. Bumped behind Deion Jackson on the depth chart this year, but still plays it awfully hard. On second down, a fake draw. Looking left all the way, ball tipped at the line and still caught. Down to about the 16-yard line with forward progress for Fordham is Jim Walls, a freshman tight end out of Riverton, New Jersey.
If he continues to throw the ball and sailing it like this, I think that Villanova are going to have an opportunity here to pick one of these balls off, because if I'm playing in the secondary right now, I'm just waiting for him to float one of these outs. I'm going to play the ball instead of the man go for it.
Weems came up and made the hit. You can see right here the delivery and the tip ball at the line of scrimmage. Hell no, it just slipped out of his hand. It didn't get tipped at all.
No, that's Medine's pass, is that duck that he throws with consistency.
Sorry, Dan, I was giving you a little too much credit. On third down and 7 yards to go. Blitz is coming. Medine sidesteps it. Good-looking play as he gets the ball out to Carroll, and the dive ahead is going to get him down just outside the 11-yard line. So there'll be a little bit more than a yard shy of the first down. And now on a fourth down play, Fordham is going to call a timeout to discuss their options here about whether or not you just want to put points on the board. I would doubt that, or what it is you're going to run on fourth down and 1. But you mentioned it a little while ago. If you pitch a second shutout, one against Delaware, one against Fordham, the pollsters take notice.
Scott, I'll tell you, Dan McNeil, the defensive coordinator, wants this shutout. You could tell in that last play right there, he blitzed 2 linebackers trying to put some pressure on Medine right here. Maybe get him to turn the ball over or take a sack. Maybe knock him into deeper field goal position, which I don't think that they're going to go for. But they want to keep these Rams out of the end zone right now. It makes last week's victory even more impressive, Scott, and it gives more credence to just how potent of a team this is right now with Villanova.
Well, as we said, this Fordham team has had its share of struggles. 4-6-1 last year, and that was a good season after an 0-11 the year before. Nick Cartaro in his third season has a 4-19-1 record. He's been gradually going about the business of rebuilding this Fordham football program, and it's tough business when you come in to take on the number 18 team of the country at their own stadium. So with 8:22 left, if you were just playing for a lack of a shutout here, you try the field goal, but that's not what it's all about, and Cartaro wants to see the offense run. So it's fourth down and almost a full 2 yards to go. Carroll is the lone setback. You can see him there, number 4. And now an option play, they keep, and they got the first down. Dan Medine found some room over the right side to get it down to just inside the 9-yard line, so Fordham's going to have a first down and goal to go.
But this is strictly an option the entire way, but I don't think Medine had any thought of pitching this ball right here. He knows how far he has to go. He sees just a little bit of a crease inside of the defender right there, and he's able to just sneak through there to move the chains, get the first down.
Now Sean Lyons played a little contain there, staying to the outside, and gave Medine room to turn it upfield. First and goal from the 9-yard line. Medine straight back, wants it left. The ball tipped at the line, and that time I'm sure of it, it falls incomplete.
That ball intended for Kevin Fratura, who's caught a couple of balls today, but not a well-thrown ball. Another ball that kind of sails out of the grasp of Dan Medine.
You'd see him setting up, and his eyes were saying left all the way, so there wasn't a whole lot of room to have to jump for it, but a nice play by Armando Bailey, a sophomore defensive end out of Philadelphia, to knock that ball away. That's second and goal from the 9-yard line. Time getting short, just under 8 minutes to go. Villanova 49, Fordham nothing. Medine with still a little time, and he's absolutely changing it at the line of scrimmage. Another blitz is coming. Medine rolling, wants to get rid of it and can't. Lyons threw him back beyond the 15 for the sack.
Sean Lyons, the freshman linebacker right there, probably makes up for that first down that Medine was able to convert 2 plays ago. Nice job of rushing the quarterback, keeping him in front of him, and then when he's got a chance to pull him down, to bring him down to the ground, not let him get away.
Now this guy's pretty multi-talented because he is a freshman. In his senior year in Altamont, New York, he was All-State as a linebacker. The year before, he was All-State as a tight end as a junior. Pretty good athlete.
Good athlete, being able to go both ways, making All-State at 2 different positions.
Third down now and goal, but this time the ball is out at the 16-yard line for Fordham. We'll see what Madai can get accomplished as he goes back to throw, setting up a screen. It's a tight end screen for Nelson. And not going to be a whole lot there, out to about the 11-yard line. Now the question is, do you take the points here or do you try it again? And once again, this time with 4th and goal and about 11 yards left, Nick Cartaro has decided that he's going to go for the field goal attempt, and he's bringing his kicker, Mark Ruoff, on. Ruoff has already missed today from 22 yards away, but this is probably going to be the most serious threat to the Villanova shutout that you're going to see the rest of the way. This ball is on the left hash mark. The officials have called time now. The ball's on the left hash mark. As you can see, the tight end screen from John Nelson never really developing, and Ezekiel Lewis making the hit. Earlier today when Ruoff missed from 22, it was from the right hash mark. He hooked the ball, and it hooked a little bit late. If that's the style with which he kicks, we'll see what he can get accomplished here on what's going to amount to a 28-yard field goal attempt. Ball going to be placed down on that left side. Ruoff coming into the day 2 of 3 for the season, now 2 of 4. There's your snap and your hold, and your kick is good. There will not be back-to-back shutouts for the Villanova Wildcats. Fordham does get on the board with a field goal of 28 yards from senior Mark Ruoff. We've got ourselves a 49-3 game as Fordham finally scores.
Psychologically, that was actually a big field goal for Fordham to be able to leave here today and put something on the board against the 18th ranked team in 1AA here in this nation. And I think for Villanova, I don't think too much disappointment that they gave up the field goal. They weren't going to keep this shutout going forever.
I guess the Fordham Ram is happy about it. Yeah, it seems to be anyway. Greeting the fans, having a little bit of fun, and that's kind of what the college football experience is all about. Of course, that's also what the college football experience is all about as well. When you come out to enjoy a game like this one, the Villanova band has been having its share of fun here today. Kind of a laid-back day and yet another chicken dance.
Awful lot to cheer about here, Scott, on Parents Weekend. And those post-game celebrations should go long into the night this evening.
I can't tell you the number of times that I've seen the chicken dance in my life, but I can tell you that I've seen it just that many times the last 2 weekends here at Villanova.
Scott, can you do the chicken dance?
I do not do the chicken dance. All right, now the ball to be taken down inside the 5-yard line and taken out by DeLon Kelly. He's going to get it across the 20-yard line and out to about the 22 for Villanova to start out offensively. 6:20 to go. Villanova cementing its position as a top-ranked team in the country with a 49-3 advantage. Fordham scoring drive, there you see it, with Ruoff capping it off on the 28-yard field goal for Fordham's first points of the day that came late here in the fourth quarter.
Mark Ruoff didn't want to miss 2 short field goals today. That was important for him psychologically to be able to get the 3 points on the board.
Now you've got a new quarterback. Michael Rusnak is checked into the game. Good size for the junior. Rusnak out of Carmel, Indiana. There's a give through the middle on first down. And really working that left side is Todd Kabelski. And he's got himself yardage out to the 24 for a couple of yard pickup.
Another pretty good quarterback out of Carmel, Indiana, by the name of Mark Herman. Started at Purdue University back in the late 70s, early 80s.
And went on and played in the NFL, the Raiders?
Chargers, and the Colts, and the Denver Broncos.
Okay. Well, I'll give you that one.
I wasn't trying to stump you or anything, Scott. Raiders was a good shot.
Hey, you got the Ken O'Brien Cal Davis. That was good enough for me. Second down and now about 8 yards to go. With the man in motion is Diaz. Belski comes to the near side, turns the corner, got some room, and a first down. Nice looking run as he brought it to the near side for another Villanova first.
Leading the way was a sophomore guard, number 60, Al Batten. We've seen the guards of Villanova all afternoon here today, pulling and leading their tailbacks around the corner. Another good job by Batten right there.
Gain of 13 on the play.
Let me ask you as well, when we showed you what the schedule is ahead, you've got a week off coming up as you see Kabelski's run. You've got a week off coming up, and then a game at Connecticut, not a national power by any stretch of the imagination. Andy Talley going to have a tough time kind of trying to bring these guys back down to earth?
I have a feeling that Andy Talley is going to be hard on these guys. I think he sees the potential of this team and how good they can be, Scott, and I don't think he's going to let them up and let them take any kind of a breather right now.
Out across the 40-yard line with that carry, good for another couple-yard pickup. And more importantly for Andy Talianova at this point is, let's keep that clock moving and let's get our team back to where they should be in the dressing room, celebrating another victory, their third of the season.
You know, last year, Scott, this team was really underachieving, only 3 victories, and a lot of good players on this football team thought that the guys quit last year. The senior class not really hungry in the fourth quarter. Some games maybe thought that there was some lying down by those players. This year, they don't want any of that to go on. This is a senior-laden team. They want some victories. They want the playoffs this year.
There you got Kubelski touching up in motion. And once again, it is all running right now as Diaz powers ahead for another first down near midfield.
Ed Diaz is a classic-looking fullback. He runs with a nice forward lean, built low to the ground with a lot of power. And once he gets that head of steam up, I don't think that there's too many arm tackles that are going to be able to bring him down.
He's 6'1", 225, a shot put and discus thrower on the track team when he was back in high school, and he kind of looks like a shot put and discus kind of. You look like a shot put guy.
Never spent any time there doing the shot put or disc, Scott. I was a high jumper and half miler, an athlete in high school.
You kidding me, right?
No, I'm not kidding. I was a skinny basketball player, hung out on the basketball courts of Long Island most of my days and nights.
Oh, playing basketball against Jerry Seinfeld, I can understand how you won a lot. Alec Baldwin and Joey Buttafuoco?
A lot of frustrated athletes there in that town.
I can imagine.
They found other outlets.
You got the size of a Brian Baldinger there. I mean, you know, it's an NFL size now, but it just wasn't always that same NFL size.
No.
First down now at 10 yards to go from the midfield stripe. It'll take a look at some blitz, and now it's going to be through the middle once again, Kubelski, for a gain of about a yard. Now you're going to tell me, look at this, you're going to tell me that this guy here at one time was a high jumper and a track guy?
Scott, I'm telling you, when you go to college and they have training table, okay, when you're one of 8 kids, there's not many scraps left on the tables there, Scott. When I went to college, as much as I wanted to eat, I started to grow at that point.
And of course turned in that NFL career based on that, because there probably just wasn't much of a career playing on the playgrounds in Long Island.
It wasn't much of a future for 6'5" skinny white guys playing basketball.
Second down now at 9 yards to go. You can stay by yourself on that one. Down under center now is Rusnak. Still hasn't attempted a pass. Kubelski's going to get thrown back by the Fordham defense on the other side of the midfield stripe. Coming up on the 3:10 mark, remaining here in the game, and Villanova and Fordham basically playing this one out. This, of course, this of course would be the extensive chart preparation of one Brian Baldinger.
New at this business, Scott, but I learned from a pro last week looking at your chart up there, and I was just trying to outdo myself. The competitive nature that I have here, Scott, went to work this week.
You used the same board. You used exactly the same board. You're a good student.
And I suppose you want some kind of royalty for this?
I said so before the game, yeah, and I'm holding out for it as best I can. Third down now at 10 yards to go. And now we're going to see Rusnak with his first pass opportunity. Throws down the middle, and that's going to be complete. Rob Carter gets the catch across the middle. Not going to be anywhere near enough for the first down, however. See, now here you go.
See, there's the difference between a lineman and a non-lineman.
Right.
Mine's all messy. There's stuff written all over it. It's written in different colors. Yours, right off of the computer. You've got the, everything is computerized there. It's well printed. But there's some kind of really something I can read out of all that chaos right there.
Not to mention the fact that there's a homey quality to yours. Mine's kind of antiseptic. Fourth down now coming up, and Villanova's going to punt the football away once again. This time a twister of a kick. Going to be fair caught. Down inside the 15-yard line, down at about the 13. So with 1:53 left to go here in the ball game, you've got Fordham coming out offensively one more time. But when you start talking about what the Fordham Rams have had to deal with today, it's been tough. And when you start talking about what Villanova has accomplished here today, it's exactly what they set out to do.
Yeah, it's impressive. I was talking to a lot of guys during the week, and they really feel like this could be a special season for them. There was not going to be any kind of a letdown here today, even against an undermanned Fordham ball club.
Now Fordham has switched up on quarterbacks as well. Dan Colana is in the game for the final few moments. A freshman quarterback handing the ball off on his first play from scrimmage, and that's going to be a good gain of more than 10 yards, good for first down yardage. It was Randy Cardona, a sophomore running back out of Central Islip, New York, who came up with the first down yardage on his first carry. 1:46 to go in the game as they move the chains. And now we've got a timeout on the field as Fordham is, what they're doing here is they're trying to get some reps, but not bad looking running.
No, running hard right here. And, you know, when you get an opportunity in this game, I don't care what level it is, Scott, you got to put forth the best effort possible. These coaches are all taking a look at the film. And in a blowout like this, I told you, Scott, that the coaches are looking for the competitors. Find out who's going to be there in the fourth quarter of a blowout. You're going to find out who the people with the heart are.
What we just saw there moments ago, I've always found that to be just a little bit too dangerous for my taste. Fortunately, I do not have daughters, so I don't have to worry about that. But if I did have a daughter, she would not be being thrown up in the air and caught by somebody.
You got to have a lot of confidence in your partner to do that, Scott.
Tell me about it. You got to have a little confidence to do that, too. What is that?
Be able to do that on camera and not drop that. That's kind of a state fair thing. I think she needs a little hat on the ground where you can kind of pitch some coins in there.
It's very impressive. We're just going to have to find out what it's called. First down now from the 28. Back to throw, settling in, firing the football, and you got a catch out to the 35-yard line. Hauling it in was Robert Davis on the throw from Kalana, and he gets out of bounds. So second down coming up now for the Fordham Rams offensive unit. Now, we know what that is. That's called a balloon on your head.
That's the balloon hat right there, Scott. There are all kinds of activities and festivities happening here today.
Kalana throws. It was kind of low and behind, but Robert Davis has been stretching all over the place for some errant throws today and got on that one. It was just off his right hip. Kalana again looking a little deeper down the field for Davis. Ball tipped in the air and incomplete. He threw into the middle of a bunch of people, and the ball got tipped before it ever got Davis's way.
But one of the better looking passes we've seen from a Fordham quarterback today. This one has some good zip on the ball and a tight spiral, not sailing over anybody's head. And an accurate throw right here, too.
It was good, and good-looking throw. Got broken up and knocked into the air by John Ashby, a redshirt freshman linebacker out of Oklahoma. And we do have a penalty going to be called against Villanova. As you can see, the tight spiral there knocked up into the air. But the penalty against Villanova is going to be good for 10 yards, and it's going to move Fordham up just outside the 44-yard line and give them a first down.
Scott, when you look at the home schedule, the one game next to the homecoming game where you want to be able to play a lot of players, hopefully in a blowout game like this is Parents Weekend, get an opportunity to play in front of the folks coming in to see a game here today.
True enough. Not going to be able to get a seat at a restaurant anywhere around here tonight.
Main line's going to be busy.
Rolling to the left side. Firing deep down the field as Kalana got his man, and this one could run away. 20-yard line, down to the 15, and herded down and caught from behind on the play was Dave Skoblik. Minute 20 to go, and Fordham still got an opportunity to get a touchdown in here today.
And Kalana, like we just said on a couple plays before, throws a good tight spiral and an accurate throw. This one to Skoblik, very, very well thrown in between the zones, finds him wide open.
Well, the freshman out of New City, New Jersey, looking pretty good here. And has been the most accurate of the passers that Fordham has brought in today. Now Villanova is taking a timeout with a minute 20 left to go. And they're coming over to the sidelines to huddle up. I think this might be a pride-type discussion about not letting him into the end zone.
Let me tell you, Andy Talley knows the way these poles are skewered here. Kalana, nice job just rolling out to the left. We saw this moving pocket all day, but a tight spiral. Skoblik just getting behind the defenders right here and really a mix-up in the coverage, something we haven't seen from Villanova in a couple of weeks now.
Had Skoblik had considering that Skoblik went down the sidelines the way he did, had Kalana had an opportunity to plant a little bit more and get more on the throw and lead him, that might have been a touchdown right then and there.
Yeah, and this may be a combination that if you're a Fordham fan, you may see in the future of freshman.
Now, if you looked at that, you would think that this had been a tight ball game, but in reality, it was not. Most of Fordham's yardage coming here in the second half on plays just like the one you saw. The scoreboard says something different. Now the freshman comes in. He's got an opportunity here, an opportunity to make that bus ride that's not going to be a pleasant one, at least a little bit more pleasant for him. He can go home, call the folks tonight and say, I led a touchdown drive.
No question about it, and he's thinking that right now, Scott. He's got a minute and 20 here to work with, and they're inside the 10-yard line.
Here comes a lot of blitz coming his way. He's rolling out right. It's kind of an option, and he will pitch late. Got the ball off and pitched it to Cardona, who got it down to about the 7-yard line. So still second down now and goal to go for the Fordham Rams, but they stopped the clock again with $1:13 left.
I'll tell you what, Scott, they were playing all day to hear Cardona to Kalana. It's Kalana to Cardona. a difficult thing to get out.
Have to make an entirely different board just to keep up with it. And now we've got another Villanova timeout.
Yeah, they are serious about keeping Fordham out of the end zone right now. They just blitzed all three linebackers in that play coming after them. These polls are so latent with what the score was, who you beat, how you beat it. You don't really know anything about the games. They're just looking at the score and the final score. And right now, they really want to keep that 3 points on the board. They don't want to get this thing stretched to 10.
That's why, much as I hate it when it comes down to college basketball time, the RPI is at least something that you take into consideration with who you play, the strength of your schedule. And I've been an advocate the last several years, certainly on the Division I level in college football for the rankings, of using a system like that.
I really vote for that type of thing to be implemented, Scott, because this is really unfair. No team wants to play any other great team early in the season right now. They want to run up the score, get a few blowouts, and get that impressive feel to it.